Podcast like a motherfucker.
Boom.
Welcome back. No?
Yeah, welcome back.
It's been a while.
It has. We were supposed to do a podcast in October,
Yeah, but that didn't happen.
but it didn't happen. You
Yeah.
had bed bugs.
Yeah,
There was many problems.
Oh yeah, I got invaded by tiny Tyranids. Actually, I didn't get invaded by tiny Tyranids, but I was paranoid about it, and in the end, nothing happened.
But now we're actually in the same room,
Yeah.
back for another episode.
Oh,
It's now January. I
shit.
don't know when the last time we recorded it was. It's been a while.
Yeah, exactly.
But we've done a bit more of we've done a lot of planning, and we're like, right,
Yeah.
we're gonna do this properly now.
Exactly. So like basically, okay, episode number.
I
So-
actually know because I've been fucking
oh,
around. It's number
okay.
8.
Number 8.
Number
Okay.
8.
Oh shit! It's like new beginnings.
Yeah,
Wait. Ammertime season 2, 40K, episode number 8.
Yeah, so I tried to do this on Spotify, but in the end
Yeah.
I was like, fuck it, I'm just deleting all the old stuff. We start again. But
Yeah,
episode, yeah, we're doing something new now.
Yeah.
Episode
Yeah.
8.
Exactly. So what's happening is that Henry is on parental leave. And what that means is that you have way too much time on your hands and too much time to think because you're just like playing with baby and then you're like podcast,
painting stuff, like
curing ham?
curing like meat in the basement,
Yeah.
like doing all that stuff around
Basically
the house,
just living
building
the
stuff.
good life.
It's so good. Yeah, hobby like has like just gone like woo. Just like me making like an increasing motion with my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're here back in Copenhagen. It's this weekend is Johannes' wedding. He's decided to do it in Denmark, which is great.
Yeah, tomorrow.
So I'm here with Casimir the Swede.
Mm-hmm.
We're just the dynamic duo today. No special guests.
Perfect.
We'll see what happens over the weekend. Never know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Like Johannes is he's a very loud person, but very quiet when it comes to podcasting. I remember last time I was here with him, we podcasted, and he was just like sitting and listening to us.
Yeah, so that was also a problem when the guys came over in October. We recorded an episode.
Yeah.
But it was me like talking.
Yeah,
and then like Magnus, Fraz, and Johannes speaking very quietly and not really doing much.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it didn't happen.
Yeah, I'd say I had the same problem when I was way back in time. I recorded an episode with Magnus as well, and he's just not like he's not a podcast guy, you know.
Yeah, so
he's not loud and obnoxious. That's the problem.
So we didn't get anything recorded, which is why we've been a while since we've put something out. But hopefully we've made a bit more of like a plan now. We're hopefully going to do one every month.
Yeah,
I think that's the plan.
That's the goal.
Whether it's like together or online, we figure it out. But that's the plan. Yeah. So if you want to find us, you can find us on Discord. I can't remember what the Discord name is, but it's going to be in the show
like
notes.
Ammertime
40K podcast. You'll find us on Discord if you look hard enough. We'd like you to join us there because we have quite a good actually community. Someone's on right now online on the hobby hangout having a chat. So join us on there. Like someone's on most nights having a chat doing hobby. So if you just want to just hang out and talk some 40K, people are there. Everyone's nice. Yeah, join us there. So we're just to lay out a little bit what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to have the usual segments. Like the 3 kind of main usual segments that we're going to have is like what's new in 40K, the hobby progress that we've done, and we always could do like a little hobby section on like something that hobby tip that we have. Tip of the month.
Exactly, or a thing that we're recently doing or whatever, right?
Yeah, and then we just answer any questions that we've had from the mailbag, and then we have the main topic of the show. So the main topic of the show tonight is going to be about Night Lords, because Games Workshop have released like a little bit of fluff for them. So we're going to talk about them.
It seems like this is so my understanding is that this is like fluff that's been included in some previous publication for perhaps like quite a while ago.
Yeah.
And then now they decided, okay, let's just release that as a PDF, which is really this is awesome because like, you know, like we don't all have access to all these like old books or like the money to buy every single release they have, but it's still like nice to read.
Exactly. So that was released a few days ago. At the time of recording, 22nd of January 2026. So we're going to talk about that, and that's going to be like the main topic. And then if we have time over the weekend, we might do a little bit about the gaming day that we're going to have this weekend, and talk about our lists and what we're bringing, and also like how our lists have changed, or at least how my lists have changed. Because that's what I've written in the notes, how my lists have changed in the last few months. So that's kind of the outline of the show, and I think we just like jump right into what's happened recently in the 40k stuff.
Yeah. So, like fucking always, there's a lot of stuff happening, but it seems
loads of stuff happening.
But it seems like 2025.
I'm so excited.
Year of chaos. Not that many chaos releases, but 2026, not the year of chaos, starts with a lot of chaos releases. So.
Yeah, there's been so much. Okay, so how do we start? I think we have to set the scene because we know that 11th edition is coming this year.
Yeah.
So there's this end of edition campaign. I'm guessing a lot because I don't know how these things work.
Yeah, but that's true. I think that happened last time as well.
Yeah.
Where they had like whatever Maelstrom thing happening as well.
Yeah. So from what I understand, this 500 worlds thing is one thing.
Yeah. It's the 500 worlds of Ultramar or something.
Yeah.
It's like the fucking Ultramarines. One world is not enough. No, they have 500 worlds.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're like, man. And you're like, actually, you can buy the miniature for 500 different ones.
I was like looking at like the Night Lords for the research for this. It's like, yeah, they have one world. It was destroyed. Ultramarines, 500 worlds.
And they're all still there. Not a single one has been marred.
Yeah, so there's this 500 Worlds campaign coming up. We don't really know what the extent of it is because we haven't bought the books, but we can guess.
I think they've just released, or maybe released next week or something.
Exactly. Yeah. And then upcoming we have this Maelstrom campaign, which seems to be sort of like a pirates.
Yeah, it's like pirate themed, which is like because it has the Red Corsairs, which is like the pirates, Chaos Space Marines.
Yeah.
But also the Pirate Eldar, which I, to be honest, don't really know how they fit into anything.
Okay, we can talk about it a little bit when we get to the models, and then I also saw that they're bringing out some new like combat patrols. I think for Votan and for Drukhari.
Yeah.
So it's also like the kind of like rogue tradery, piratey kind of factions that are going to be involved in this Maelstrom campaign.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
But I'm definitely going to get the Maelstrom book for Corsairs because I'm Eldar player. So maybe when that comes out, we can delve a little bit deeper.
Exactly, to pump the book. Yeah, like I'm also really interested in the fluff for that actually.
Yeah, but you're also playing Chaos Space Marines, so it makes sense. Like maybe we share the if this comes out as like a box compendium or whatever. Exactly. Yeah. So what has come out, Casimir? What's come out for this? This campaign.
So the red Corsairs, right? They're like the Chaos Space Marines the Space Marines who recently turned to Chaos. So they're not like they, for the most part, been living in the warp for like millions of years. And this is supposed to represent them. So you have like the special characters that represent that faction coming out. And what I think this is quite new or different from before, because the main character, Huron Blackheart, I think his name, has existed before, but he was like a single kid.
Yeah.
And now he's come up with like all his boys, like the whole fucking command squad.
All the lads.
That's really different from how it used to be, because like Space Marines always used to have like a command squad with like you had an apothecary, like a veteran or something else, like a banner bearer or something. And Chaos Space Marines never had anything like that. You just had like a guy.
But now he has a proper command squad.
Yeah, now he has like five guys with him. So you have Huron himself, which is
before we get into like which models, who's Huron Blackheart? Explain to me. Assuming I know nothing, because I don't really know anything.
So basically he used to be the chapter master of a chapter called Astral Claws or something like that. And they're like in summary, their story was kind of they fought like some very difficult campaign to defend against chaos or whatever else threat. And in the end, the Empire just decided to keep taxing them really hard. And they went all American on them and just went like, I'm not paying my fucking taxes. Like, you're not stealing my money. And then they became traitors because they got taxed too hard.
Okay.
And then that then became Chaos Space Marines.
Interesting spiral to chaos.
I also don't really understand it, but it turns out that apparently like Space Marine chapters have to pay like a tax on gene seeds. So they have to like donate a certain amount of their gene seeds.
To the sperm bank.
Yeah, they have to sperm bank.
We'll have to jerk off into a cup. Send put it on ice, ship it off to Terra every month. Yes. Right, boys. 1 in 10 from the chapter. Send them in. Jerk off in a cup.
Right, if you have this machine, it's very realistic to the real thing.
But also, maybe Space Marines don't have penises. Maybe we just have to rub against something and
just
secrete a bit of sweat. Just rub vigorously against
How does the Space Marine secrete his gene seed? That's the question. So yeah, I also didn't know this was a thing, but apparently this is why they turned traitors. And then they got beaten or something, and in the end he fled into the Eye of Terror, the Maelstrom.
The Maelstrom, yeah.
And became kind of a pirate faction. And then since then, apparently he's become one of the most successful leaders of a Chaos Space Marine faction, let's say. So a lot of other Space Marines who turn traitor attached to his general traitor cause, which are the Red Crusaders.
I guess there was a lot of sub factions of Space Marines and things hanging out in this place, and they kind of get attracted to him because
he's successful, right?
Yeah.
And in the old times, I really used to love this when I was a kid, because what this existed as a faction was that in the old books, people had already their full Loyalist Space Marine collections when Chaos Space Marines were released, way back in the 80s. And then the idea was that you should be able to play Chaos Space Marines anyway. So Red Crusaders were people who just turned to Chaos. So how you made a Space Marine to a Red Crusader is you painted a red X over their whatever Imperial icon.
That's cool.
So you had a Space Wolf, and you just painted an X over his shoulder pad, and you're now he's a Chaos Space Marine. that was the Red Crusaders. But now obviously they
have the full faction. So this is the Huron Black Cart's command squad.
Exactly.
So we've got quite a few different characters here, and they're all very heavily detailed.
Yeah.
Obviously you have Huron with his half of his face missing.
Yeah, because apparently he got blasted by a melta or something.
Yeah.
A melt cannon gun or whatever, and he just lost everything. He lost half his face, then his arm, half his body.
Yeah, he's got an arm with an engine inside of it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a flamethrower, I think. It's some kind of power fist with a flamethrower in the middle.
Cool. That's pretty badass, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't know about his face in this mall. He used to look a bit more badass in the old mall.
Yeah, he just looks a bit like a school teacher that's been implanted with a bionic eye.
Yeah, he looks like a Saturday morning cartoon,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel actually generally these models are not that realistic. They're quite cartoony.
Yeah. I would for Huron. I think you just put a helmet on him, and he will look twice as cool.
Yeah, you put a chaos with the horns,
exactly.
a full helmeted head. It would look amazing. Yeah,
it's nice pose is good. Cape is dynamic. The other aspects are quite good.
Yeah.
But then some of the other ones, there's an executioner who has a big fat skull on his head, and then 3 skulls on his breastplate, and he just looks a bit.
It looks more coming from fantasy, an undead warrior rather than a helmeted.
Yeah, it looks a bit like a Krull, something like that.
Yeah. I would head swap.
Yeah, so maybe this is a solution to everything.
The apothecary.
Yeah, he's the best one.
He looks like such a pedo. Yes. You even wrote to me the apothecary looks like a pedo, and I'm like, actually, he has the most pedo face I've ever seen.
Yeah, they really sculpted the essence of a pedo, because he has this smile, and he looking downwards, and he just looks really happy to be kind of clawing out your balls out of your body.
Yeah, but he's literally in the sculpt, he's literally clawing out someone's features.
Yeah, exactly. No, this is what they do. They grasp in there. They find the ball. They may be smooth down there, but the balls are embedded somewhere, and they just
find the gene seed from somewhere.
Exactly. Just kind of take it out, put it in the sperm bank.
But I mean, in that sense, it captures the image quite well. But
for sure.
Again, I would probably still do a head swap.
This one I'd keep.
Okay, you like the pedo look.
I don't know if but this is also a thing that you look at his painting really well, right? And then you're can I recapture the pedo essence when I paint it myself?
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah. And then we have the sorcerer, which looks pretty cool.
Sorcerer's fine.
Pretty good.
A bit generic. Yeah.
I don't know what this one is it's a human on a platform with legs.
She's supposed to be his fleet commander. But my question is, what the fuck is she doing down there and not on the ship?
it just raises more questions.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the model is quite cool, but it just doesn't make sense because she's like a human fleet officer standing on a floating platform, and you're like, yeah, but why?
Yeah. Why would they go into the middle of like a battle?
Yeah, but it's a good model. Like it looks cool.
It's cool, but it's just a bit weird. I actually really like the last one, which is like this.
He has his own Boba Fett, like a mercenary hunter alien guy.
I think it says it's like a dog soldier or something. I don't know if
you are like dog soldier.
Yeah, but I feel like that's what they actually call it.
It's like it's basically like a weird crocodile man. He's like a lizard man, but he doesn't really look like a lizard man fancy with space armor. And that to me is really, I also love it. Like when I look at him and I'm like, a faction of these would be cool.
I feel like this could be like a cool like sub faction or like another say like army book or whatever you want to call it. Like one day, it could be quite fun. And they have a little dog thing, which whatever.
Yeah,
sure. But I think as a Chaos player, how do you feel about this as like a group of models? Is something that you might buy?
I don't know. Like I mean, if you were playing this sub faction, like where you painted,
if you want red Corsair,
like 100%,
of course you would buy it.
But for
as
me,
a generic Chaos player,
like I mean, I literally played the most generic version. I played Black Legion, and looking at this, I'm like, maybe like it'd be a bit like if the rules are really cool, really fun, maybe I'd buy it. But as just models, it'd be one of those things. Like, can I play a generic apothecary in the next Chaos book? Yeah. Then yes, because can I play
a cool apothecary model?
Because the executioner guy, there is already a generic executioner. There's a generic sorcerer for sure. Yeah. There's a generic chaos lord. But then the other three is like apothecary, human space like captain
probably
not bounty hunter man probably not. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm paying probably €80 for this set or something.
So then you need to want to use this group.
Exactly. And that's the thing, right? So that makes me a bit like maybe I'm not buying it,
Yeah, okay.
Even if some of those models I like, but then if I'm not gonna be able to use them, there are other models I like as well, right?
Yeah, fair enough. But I guess you're right. I guess if it's like a Red Corsair thing, then like this box, which has also been released at the same time, which is you get cultists, you get like
so this is like the other big thing that they're releasing is like a Corsair's kit, so to say,
like a Battle Force box.
Yeah, but in part of like some of that's old miniatures, like the
it's like regular legionaries or whatever.
The cultists and the Terminators are regular, and you get one set of regular Marines, but then you get two sets of this like new Corsair box, which is like
an upgrade sprue.
No, I think it's a complete new. Okay. When I look at the models, it looks like completely new sets, and the idea is like it's these Chaos Space Marines who have recently fallen to Chaos. So they have like a bit less mutation. They have less trim or different type of armor plating and stuff, and probably different weapon options and stuff. And here's the kit, and that kit's quite cool. Like they all look a little bit like they're all, let's say, like 2000s rock stars with their like same chives and hairs and stuff. But like the design aesthetic is quite good. Like also again, there's way less trim, so it's probably way easier to paint.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're not as like spiky as the Chaos Marines I've seen in other places.
Exactly. So they look nice to paint. They have some different like they have different types of backpacks and armors, kind of trying to illustrate this like. When they're scavenging, different things, that's quite cool. So like this set, I really like. I don't know what will be their niche in the game, like because a lot of the equipment option looks a little bit like, okay, well, this is what you get in a normal Chaos Space Marine box, but maybe it looks like they have more power weapons and stuff like this.
Yeah, it's from what I remember watching the release show, and I think they said that they were like slightly more elite.
Okay.
So they might have 3 wounds instead of 2 wounds, and like access to a bit more weapon options.
Okay, well, that sounds cool. And they're way more. There's more interesting poses and stuff like this.
I think maybe you could also use these for like generic Space Marines if you wanted like a little bit different look, and obviously paint them in the faction that you want, right?
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, and there's one hero as well. This Reeve Captain. He looks. I think he's less interesting than the normal Chaos Space Marines because He's not a bad model, but there's not so much that I go like, oh man, this is like very special.
He's got an eye patch though.
Oh yeah, it's a little pirate man. He has like a big cloak with a fur shoulder and stuff like that.
And I guess these are like the regular.
Yeah, these are the normal ones.
And yeah, you get like an upgrade sprue of some sort.
Yeah, which the upgrade sprue doesn't interest me because I don't play
this faction.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, overall, like, really cool. And then there's also some, like, you know, hints about what's coming with, like, some Iron Warrior character or maybe Primarch.
Yeah.
And perhaps, and we know the Defiler is coming, right?
Yeah.
I mean, now we've seen, like, parts of it.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for Defiler because the Defiler was, like, when I was a kid, that was, like, the first big vehicle I bought.
Explain to me what a Defiler is.
It's a big spider.
It's not like the one that you have. What's that one called?
So the one I have is a Soul Grinder.
Yeah.
And the Soul Grinder is like an upgrade kit to the Defiler initially. So the Defiler is like the original kit, and then like 5 years later they released the Soul Grinder, which is essentially instead of having like a mechanical, let's say torso, you get the demon torso.
Yeah.
But in the original kit there's like a mechanical torso.
Okay. So it's the
bottom
same, but
half
it's like
is
a
the
robot
same.
instead of okay.
Exactly. And now they finally gonna release a new one, hopefully a lot cooler.
Do you think it's going to be just a torso?
No, I think it's the
whole thing
is new.
Yeah,
I would guess because like the original Defiler is from when we were like 12 or something.
Okay.
It's a while ago. Like.
I mean, when I look at my Eldar like tanks, it's like 2001 or something like that. Like
but their design was way better. Yeah. let's be honest. Like,
I mean, they hold up, right?
Yeah.
And speaking of Eldar, we also got some Eldar Corsairs released in this wave. So we're just going to jump.
Boys.
Yeah, and so you're asking me like what are Eldar Corsairs?
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck?
So my understanding of what the Eldar Corsairs are. So when you're an Eldar, like you're psychic, and it's really important to understand because
everybody's a special boy. Like.
When you're psychic, you feel things like more intensely. So
it just sounds like they're gay. Like what the fuck? I have such strong emotions.
But I'm drinking a beer, right?
Oh, okay.
And I'm drinking a beer, and I'm like tasting like every molecule of this beer, and like where it was from, and like everyone who's touched
the perfect sommelier, like.
Yeah, basically. And so if you imagine that was everything that you do, you're imagining this in like a really intense way. Mm-hmm. So it's quite easy as, say, like an Eldar to get really absorbed in something.
Yeah.
So generally...
Like drinking beer.
So let's say you're really...
Why don't they all have like the nice little like pot bellies? You know?
Because not all of them, they get absorbed in drinking beer.
Okay.
So as an Eldar, like maybe most Eldar will go along one of these paths where they say, okay, I'm just gonna get really, really good at like building fires, or I'm gonna get really good at like making furniture. I'm just like looking around my room at different things. Like, I have a fireplace. I have some furniture.
I'm like whatever it is that Jesus did. Like I'm gonna talk to burning bushes. Like,
I'm gonna get really good at making beer or brewing beer, whatever it is. But like if you feel like none of these paths are really for me, I'm a bit more of like a hippie kind of thing.
Yeah,
I want to go live my life a little bit.
I'm really into drinking like weird lattes, like mocha latte or whatever.
I want to go and test out all the coffee shops in the galaxy before I make my like latte recipe before I like make perfect it. So they you know, like some of these Eldar, they want to kind of go out and see the world before they settle down into their career path.
That's what we did as well, I guess.
Yeah. So the obvious thing to do is become a Corsair.
Yeah.
So yeah.
A life on the high seas.
So yeah, if you're an Eldar that doesn't really know what to do, then maybe the path of the outcast is for you.
Okay.
And so
it's like an actual defined path as well. Like.
Yeah, but it's more like it's a defined yet undefined.
Yeah,
path.
sure. Motley Crue.
Yeah. So a lot of these Eldar kind of they toe the line, but it could also be like a Drukhari Eldar.
Is this
kind
like
of combo.
yeah? You can like mix a bit, right? Like,
yeah. So they're sort of like a mixture band of mercenaries. It's like from what I understand, it's like the old rogue trader aesthetic of an Eldar. Like it's like the Eldar that's sort of adventuring and going out into the galaxy just to try and find fame and fortune in some way, rather than following like the generic path of like industrious Eldar living for the craft world kind of thing. So that's what the courses are. They're sort of bands of Eldar that have accumulated together because they they're all outcasts and they don't want to follow a select path. Sorry, we've been drinking for quite a bit and I'm burping. And and in the fluff we have this Prince Uriel guy.
Yeah, who the fuck's that?
So,
I've never heard of him.
He
sounded like he could be from Fantasy.
I think it's from Iyanden, is one of the craft worlds that Eldar. It's one of the Eldar craft worlds.
Yeah.
And I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it's like one of those that were like just about to get destroyed. He came back and saved it with his Corsair fleet, and then in like the latest like fluff piece that was released as part of the Grotmus thing.
Sure.
He wanted to do something. I don't know if it was with the Unid or.
Yeah, that's the suicide.
Yeah, he had a plan.
Yeah.
The council of Iyanden said no, and so he said, "Okay, fuck it, I'm gonna go do it on my own with my Corsair fleet."
Yeah,
because he has this Corsair fleet, and I think he was like
he's the pirate captain.
Yeah, he's a pirate. Yeah, he was a pirate captain. I'm assuming what happened is. He had this idea, Iyanden said, we don't want to do that. He went off on his own, did it, and then he came back and saved.
Exactly. Just
at the last moment.
Don't ask for permission. Ask for forgiveness.
Exactly.
He just build. It doesn't ask permission for his buildings. He just builds that shit.
Yeah, and he has this Spear of Twilight, which is one of the Crone Swords, and the Crone Swords are like the shards of Cain, and if they all get united, it becomes this weapon that can kill Slanesh, or something like that. So he has one of these weapons. And he basically his fluff is that he leads all the Corsairs.
Okay.
So that's the basics of the background. There's a new Battle Force box coming out. It's got a new sculpt for Prince Uriel. It's quite nice. It has the same kill team Corsairs.
Okay, so the basic Corsairs are not new. Yeah, those are the same.
Exactly the same. It has a new unit, which is these like flying Corsair guys with jump packs.
They're like Swooping Hawk light, I feel like.
I think you think of it more like they're like the current Corsairs, but they fly.
Okay. Yeah, because just trying to scroll down to them. Yeah, because when I look
at them, they look like Swooping Hawks.
Yeah, because the Swooping Hawks they have a similar type of backpack, so to say, but the Swooping Hawks are a bit more extravagant in their backpack, and then also way more boring in the front. Like these guys actually look interesting, because that was always my problem with the Swooping Hawks. They just look like like a normal Guardian with wings.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, but why am I paying like double the price when I could just be 3D printing a wing and just like stick it on? But these guys actually, like when I look at this, I'm like, yeah, but here I see why. Like because they have like different weapons, they're dynamic and opposing. This guy has a weird fucking like hook, like boat hook with him or some shit, and they have like different pistols and power weapons and stuff. So
yeah. So my understanding is that they're basically like a normal Corsair unit. They can have all the different Corsair weapons that you can have.
These guys also have like a Rockstar from the early 2000s hairstyles.
Yeah, the Mohawks. Yeah.
If you're a pirate, you need to look like you played in a new metal band. You know?
Yeah. And they have the Drukhari helmets and some of the Drukhari weapons.
That's also quite cool. This like scavenging kind of.
Yeah. It looks like they have like a mixture of stuff. Like some of them have like feathers. Some of them have probably some of them have skin somewhere. I don't know, this one has a Neurodisruptor, which is like a Harlequin weapon.
Oh, okay.
It's all like a mixture of stuff. And like, this is like a Drukhari weapon. This is like an Eldar weapon.
Yeah.
So it's a mixture of things. So they're basically like the flying guys. Mm-hmm. And then there's also a new Viper kit.
What's new with this? Like I said, I didn't really...
it's completely new. Let me
It's the whole chassis.
Yeah, so this is... So it's a completely new Viper kit, and it also doubles up as like a new Corsair thing called a Starfang or something like that. I don't
Tell me anything, I will believe you.
Starfang, I was right. Yes!
I need a drink.
Starfang, yeah. So it's a Starfang. It's like the same thing, but like the back bit is backwards instead of forwards. I can't remember exactly what they do. The Viper is the Viper, but it's like it has a slightly better like weapon option.
Yeah.
And it's new and it looks better.
Yeah,
and then
nice.
the Starfang, I think, is.
So okay, what do you think about the fact that the guns are pointing backwards?
it reminds me of the thing from Star Wars in Empire Strikes Back, the speeder with the tow cable.
Oh yeah.
And that makes me like it because I think those are quite cool.
Yeah. I just look at it and I'm like, maybe they would look better if I just put the guns on the right way rather than the wrong way. You know, if you know what I mean, like it just, as soon as I look at it might just be this picture, but like the fact that there's like a bright lance just pointing the wrong way, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
but it shows it so fast. It's like turning around really sharp, and then it's shooting you from behind.
It's like for chase me, bro, and then you go chased.
But I think that from the what's it called, the release show that I saw from this is that it can give like a unit. It shoots like smoke into one of your own units.
Oh, okay.
To give one of your units like -1 to hit.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's a special
quite
rule.
Useful as well.
Yeah, that's a special rule that I think the Starfang has, and the Viper seems to be a little bit better than it was. But it'll be interesting to see the data sheet when it comes out, and if there's anything changed from the actual kit.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but I think I'll probably buy this because I've been meaning to get a Viper. And there's also a new what's it called, Farseer type.
Oh yeah, with like big insect eyes.
Void Dreamer. I don't really like the helmet that much.
He has like the like say psychic helmet, but instead of having like a single big sheath, he has like 2 insect eyes instead, or like a little thing in the middle dividing it. You know.
Yeah, exactly. It's quite a unique model, I'd say. Yeah. And it's like it's named as a named character, but I don't know if this would be like in the actual.
Here's a thing
that it would be that, or
I've been thinking about it. Is like, I dislike that a lot of the really cool models that are released are named characters.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I want my cool thing to be generic, so I can like make my own thing. Yeah. And I know a lot of people do that anyway. Like a good example is like Abaddon with Chaos Space Marines. Like you just kind of paint him in whatever. You put on the helmet instead of his head, and then you just call him, this is my super Chaos Lord, you know? But still, it'd be cool if like the cool thing was I could make that my own instead of it just being like, this is the special void, you know, that does this.
Exactly. And I know that the special rule for this one is that you can't deep strike anywhere within 12 inches of this character. That's pretty good. Which is quite nice. So I think it could have some legs in like a regular army as well. Yeah. So
the posing and the cloak and stuff is really amazing.
It's really nice.
You can just like switch out the head.
I will head swap this for sure because I don't. It
looks easy to do as well.
I don't like the bug eyes, but otherwise really cool. But yeah, I'll definitely get this kit. I think I just painted 6 Corsairs. Okay. Just for my own army, and I think having 10, as we will talk about later. Yeah. I think having 10 of the regular Corsairs is going to be a good addition.
I think also that looking at this box, this looks to me way better than the Chaos box, because like in this there's just 10 models that are old, whereas in the Chaos box it's like you get
20. Like 20. You get the cultists and the legionaries.
Yeah, and the Terminators. They're all old. And then you get 2 times, I think, the new kits. So there is still a lot of molds, but it's like if you just want to buy new stuff, you get a lot of old stuff coming with you. So for me, I'd rather just wait and buy a single box of new stuff.
Like this is how we use everything.
Yeah, exactly. This box is like, well, unless you go like, I really don't want Corsairs, but probably you do want Corsairs, because I assume there's going to be some kind of detachment that like
probably
fun,
and,
you know?
Prince Uriel you can use as an autarch if you want.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe he has fun rules himself, you know? Yeah.
So that's the Eldar stuff. There was also a few other things as well.
Yeah. Well, some Age of Sigmar stuff doesn't really matter.
Blah.
Bowl. Oh yeah, the 30k things, that might be interesting.
Yes.
Mostly because
I would guess that you use these models for 40k.
Exactly, new custodes. So, what's your initial impression of the new custodes?
I don't know what the current custodes look like, so I have no idea.
Maybe you should bring them up, because it's a big difference.
Okay, you talk. I will find the old ones.
Yeah, so I think what's special about custodes is that like they exist in 30k and 40k, but they're almost exactly the same. Like they're in terms of what units there are and whatever.
These guys?
These are just click this one. I think is that will be like a good example. Well, this is
I'll find it.
Just maybe on the Warhammer website. Anyway, but it's like kind of the same like types of units. You know, like they have the same vehicles, the same. That's a good example.
Okay.
But the thing with the old custodes or the current custodes for
It's like
40K is that they
Age of
are,
Sigmar guy.
yeah, they look like they're from Age of Sigmar. Like they're so wide, like they're so fucking extremely wide. Like the moles are really squat and really wide in general. And to me, and they're like the most elite thing ever.
Yeah.
So like they're the personal guard of the Emperor or whatever. So they're like the Space Marine Plus guys, let's say. But I fucking hate the moles for 40K because they just look stupid because they're too wide. Like they're
These
not.
guys.
Yeah, exactly. That's the normal moles, I think. They're just not proportional. To.
I mean, Space Marines are pushing it, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
these guys are just
at the next level. And what they've decided to do with the new moles is that it's for 30K they just stretch them. It looks like I think they're even taller than
the new ones look really good.
But they're like kind of they have the same proportion as a Primaris Marine, I feel like, but then just with the tall plumed like Custodes helmet and whatever. So to me, I'm like, if I were ever to consider, which I will not, like making a Custodes army, I would just buy this and go like, these are 40K Custodes.
Yeah.
Because they look really good.
Having never really looked at the models before, like the new ones are way better than the old ones, like significantly better.
Yeah, I still don't really like them. Like they're too much shit on their armor and stuff, and it's just like it's too much details. Like I look at this and it looks kind of cool when they painted it, but then if I'm gonna paint this. And I'm not gonna do like just a generic sprayed gold and wash it once.
But that's what you're
It's
gonna
gonna
do.
be fucking
horrible.
horrible.
To paint this, that's exactly what you're gonna do.
Yeah, for sure. But like if you were to actually paint it, it would be just really shit.
Yeah, like you don't have the ability to do like the such a fine detail with the metallics.
No, exactly, and it's just to me that's just not fun. But the big topic with the Custodes is that the special character is a woman.
Oh my god.
The woman Custodes. That's the big thing. Because that was the thing they had that as like a fluff thing, I think, for like a half a year or a year ago.
Can I find it on here?
I think it's this one. Yeah, I think this one without a helmet, if you scroll down a bit more. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's the one.
It's a butt ugly woman.
Yeah, the paint job on the face is not good as well.
These heavy metal paint jobs, like the faces have not been that great recently.
I mean, they're really good.
Remember
at,
the Bretonnian one from like last year or whenever it was.
I feel like they're really good at like cloaks and armor and stuff, but faces is not like a strong point.
Okay. Sure. Why is a female? I don't know.
But bro, they're taking the baby when it's a baby and then making it a bit whatever. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so there was this new releases. So what we can tell is that there's going to be this campaign for 40K, which is the Maelstrom. I guess it will like be like an end of year or end of edition campaign.
Yeah.
Focused around this like narrative between Huron Blackheart versus the Eldar.
Yeah.
Versus some other pirates who are trying to do something in the Maelstrom. Is the Maelstrom the same as the Eye of Terror? Or is it like a part of the Eye of Terror?
So the Eye of Terror was before, like, whatever it was called. I don't know what it was called. But, like, basically, let's say pre-9th edition or something of 40K, you just had, like, this warp stone in the middle of a galaxy was the Eye of Terror with all the Chaos Space Marines, escaped into. And then Abaddon did some shit on Cadia and all these other worlds to destroy the things that like kept it contained, and it exploded and divided the galaxy in half. And that's the Maelstrom.
Okay.
So the Maelstrom is like the new Iron Terror.
Okay. So it's like the whole region.
Yeah, it's just that it's way bigger now than it used to be.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's like instead of just being in the center, it's like made it kind of split like the whole thing.
Linear.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a big hole in the middle and then a kind of spread out on the sides.
Yeah. Okay. So it's gonna sort of. I guess this campaign will. I mean, we don't know how it's going to link in with 500 worlds, but we'll see. We'll see.
Hopefully, we can get our hands on that as well and figure that out as well.
Yeah. So we'll take a quick break here. We'll come back and we will talk about some hobby stuff, and then we'll get into the main topic. Cheers.
Oh, that's a good sound.
It's the best sound.
Psychosomatic connection with the it's hard.
Okay, so hobby progress. What have you been doing?
Okay, so I've been buying some stuff.
Buying counts as hobby.
Yeah. So the buying was that I've been that I bought China things. So I've or did we talk? We haven't talked about this. I don't think. So basically, Johannes or Klexe, he was like they're like ordering from a different Chinese recaster or something, and then basically. Like, to me, I don't really want to, for the most part, unless it's super expensive, I don't really want to buy current kits from like in resin, because I just prefer to have them in plastic. It's more fun to like cut them apart and shit.
I got the recasts for my War Walkers, which were like the old Forge World kits.
Exactly, perfect example. Where it's like, either they don't even sell them anymore, or you don't want to pay like €1 million for some shitty kits.
I also got some Warlocks from China, because the Warlocks were like, I think the same price as a unit of Aspect Warriors, which is like 400 krona.
Yeah, for a single guy.
For 5, like the Aspect Warriors are 400 for 5 guys.
It's already fucked. Like.
Which is already fucking insane. And the Warlocks were like 400 for 2 models. Fuck off. I'm gonna get them. So I bought 4 from China.
So what I want for China, that was like, because this is something I've always wanted, is like the old 6th edition Chaos Demons, like that like used to be in metals.
They're really nice. Yeah.
So I had already like a bunch of Plague Bearers, and I already have like 12 or something of the old Demonettes.
Yeah.
The ones that don't look like shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Those 6th edition Demonettes are the best Demonettes they made.
Yeah,
they're so nice.
So then I was like, part of me wanted to just order a bunch of Demonettes, but I was like, I don't really need a bunch of Demonettes. so instead I was like, I've known of the old Bloodletters with the axes. Yeah, so I was like, okay, get those. And then I know of the old horrors, because I also think the new horrors don't really look that good, and the old ones were really
The old ones were really good. I don't remember what the new ones look like, but carry on.
So I got those two, and I also got like some command models for my for the Plague Bearers, and then I also got like a Epidemius, which is like a special character that they don't sell anymore, or they do, and it's very expensive. And what else did I get? I think I got like a bunch of...
Oh man, the old ones are so much better.
Yeah, the new ones are fucking terrible.
Yeah, these suck. The 6th edition ones are so good.
Yeah, so I got those. I got more Nurglings and some other like random stuff. I think I got some fancy models as well, but...
Yeah, and these ones, right?
So I'm like really... yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to paint those, actually, even though I actually probably need to paint big stuff, not more like small shit.
No, but the horrors as an example, like this is like a perfect example. Like the new horrors look fucking shit. The old ones are really nice.
I also got some old flamers as well, and I think the new flamers are not terrible.
New flamers are okay.
They're okay, but I thought like I like the old ones. I'm already getting this other stuff, so I might just get some old ones. Yeah. Just to have, and then because I only got 3, and maybe I'll get 3 of the new ones or whatever in the future.
Sure.
So that was the stuff that I bought. Then I finished up Plague Bearers, but as well. So I like finally put on like the last like airbrushing touches, where the last thing I do with a lot of my demons is just spraying them with like this translucent blue-green contrast paint to make it kind of a shadow, so like that, so that they're like finally done. However, after I finally finished them, you were like, "Are you gonna put any tufts on there?" I was like, "Fuck," because
I was stickler for the bases. I really like the bases.
Because I was gonna put on tufts, but I was too excited, so I just sprayed them, and I was
take the picture.
Yeah, exactly. But I was supposed to put on the tufts before I sprayed it, so that was really annoying. I still haven't put on the tufts, but that's to do as well. And then I finished one of the Beast of Nurgle, so I have 2, right?
I'm doing a sad face.
But I only have 2.
Doing a sad face.
I think I thought about like getting more, but then I was like, actually, I think I'd rather just get other stuff. Like,
how many points are they?
It's not that many, like 65 or something, or 70 maybe. Like, they're very good. They're very, very good. They're very good. Especially if you can get the units at 2 as well. Like, so you could technically have 3 units at 2. So 6 in total. That's
it's still 390 points.
At that point, it's maybe diminishing returns. Yeah. But I do think that
single ones are better.
Yeah, there's legs in having 3 single ones for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know, depending on this, maybe more. But yeah, anyway, I finally finished one, it was quite fun. Like, it went really fast to finish because I just
What models have you used?
So there's this game that is, I think, discontinued, that's called Rune Wars, where one of the moles is like it's like a skeleton riding like a worm. Like imagine like a mini sandworm from Dune.
Yeah.
And there's a skeleton on top. And I bought those way back because I was like, maybe I could use them in my Tomb King army for something.
Sure.
Which I never did. So then I just I chopped off the skeleton rider. It was like molded into the thing with a saddle. So I just fucking went to town with a clipper and sanded it down, and then I resculpted the like those worm ring thingies, and that's what I used for them all. And before I just kind of used the airbrush to spray a gradient of whatever black, dark, purple in the bottom to some lighter at the top. And now I just went in with the brush and kind of reinforced that transition with making the the rings more detailed and putting like a sickly purpley skin color on the top.
But I feel like it looks pretty good as base Nurgle, to be fair.
Exactly, and it went pretty fast to be honest to do because it's all kind of the same color, and I was pretty happy with the results. And also I was like, oh, I was saving so much money because a single piece of Nurgle is like €60 or some shit. And I was like, I mean, there was some effort
to something you might buy from John.
Yeah, exactly, but I feel like the piece of Nurgle mole is fine for a single one, but it's like if you're gonna have many of them, it's like one of those Games Workshop balls. There's like one arm up in the air and one like this, and if you have 6 of them,
all the same.
So in that sense, I'm pretty happy by it. But so I'm quite happy about it.
It's like heads, shoulders, and they're all doing like heads at the same time.
They're fucking line dancing together, but it turned out really well, and it was quite fun. And then I was gonna just as I started was gonna start the second one, I had to leave for Sweden for all family shit and whatever. So I haven't done anything since then in terms of painting. But I've converted my blood crushers finally, which are the because I talked about this. I remember actually on the last episode or maybe 2 episodes ago, that I wanted to do this conversion. Which is instead of having blood letters on top of the juggernauts, I want to put corn berserkers on top of it.
Okay, cool.
So I did the conversion eventually, and it turns out it was super simple because.
But did you buy the demon ones, or did you buy the warriors ones?
I already had the warriors ones from a previous project, and then I just bought a box of corn berserkers.
And just cut off the waist.
Just cut them up, put them on top.
Easy.
Super easy.
Cool.
Because in my head I thought maybe I'd have to reposition them more, but it turns out when they're running a bit, it's not so difficult to.
Okay, nice.
Mount them.
You've only built them?
Yeah, exactly. So I've only built them, and I have to still they're attached on the bases, but part of the thing is my idea is that I would put them on 2 different sizes of bases, because if demons get discontinued or I can't play demons for a reason, I think I'd like to use them as Chaos Space Marine bikes for a normal Chaos Space Marine.
Okay.
But
so
the thing is
small bases?
Yeah, but that's a smaller base, right? So all my moles are on these big big bark rocks, let's say. So the idea I have is that I would magnetize the whole rock and then either have it magnetized to a big base or a small base.
Okay.
Essentially, and so I haven't done that yet, but I feel like that shouldn't be too difficult.
So you put them on the base. You've put them on the bark.
On a bark, yeah. So they're essentially done. They just have to be glued onto a base. But then instead of gluing it, I'm maybe I just go for the extra effort of making the base switchable.
Yeah, you could also put them on the small base and then magnetize the small base to the big
exactly.
base.
That's true. But then I have to see
then
I would like to make it nice, so that it doesn't just look like a base of a base.
But you could make it I guess if you're putting the small base on a big base, then you put the small base. You basically magnetize the small base to the big base, and then you build around.
Yeah, like a
mound.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah,
you figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the plan, essentially.
Cool. So if you wanna follow Casimir's progress, you can join the Discord hobby channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Because on the hobby channel, we're all posting what we're doing. So you can follow along and see Casimir's progress, as well as all the stuff he's already done. I guess you can probably just scroll back through and see the stuff. So I've done loads of stuff.
Yeah, this man doesn't have a job anymore.
I've been so productive.
So now the job is hobby.
I've been so productive. So I'd bought one of the Harlequins boxes just before Christmas.
Yeah.
Because I was at some
When you
point.
say one of the boxes, do you mean a box with 10 guys, or do you mean
Like a combat patrol.
Combat patrol box? Yeah, that's a bit different.
Yeah, so I bought one, and it was like my birthday's in December, so I bought one for myself for my birthday.
Like, I've been a good boy.
I've been a good boy this year. I've painted 2,000 points of. I can get myself a Harlequins box. I was like, this could be fun because like clown or whatever. It's gonna be like a fun project. I can add them like slowly to my army, and then the Grotmus detachment came out, which was Harlequins,
and they're like, they're bent now.
And then they're bent now. I was like, I'm gonna buy another one, so I bought a second one.
Okay.
And over Christmas, because so in my household, my hobby room is in the basement.
Yeah. But
I have my painting stuff upstairs because it's just easier for me to do it, and I can if my daughter.
You have a kid.
If my daughter's asleep, she can just sleep here, and I can be painting here. And if she wakes up, I grab her.
Yeah. Yeah, and bring her to the basement. I guess it's cold and it's.
It's easier, right? Yeah. So that's one thing. But then the other thing is that if my wife is in a room as well, I don't like to be painting if my wife's like just sat on her own doing something. Yeah. So if we're watching TV or something together, I can sit on the sofa with her, and I can't really paint because it's hard to sit on the sofa and paint.
Yeah, it's terrible for.
But what I can do is I can build stuff on the sofa. So over Christmas, because we spent a lot of time on the sofa like watching stuff over Christmas, I built fucking 2 combat patrols of Harlequins.
Dude, that's a lot of building.
Yeah, not only did I build them, I converted them as well. So this was a genius idea. Hang on, let me have some beer.
Just some motivation, like.
Yeah. Right. So the combat patrol, you get 6 guys, a solitaire, 2 tanks, and 2 bikes.
Okay. Oh yeah, these are the big bikes as well.
Yeah, they're kind of big bikes and the small tanks.
Yeah.
So from each combat patrol, you get six troops, which are 6 troops. You get 2 bikes, which are 2 bikes. Yeah. And then you get the 2 tanks. And the tanks is like a dual kit, so it's the same kit, so you can choose which one you want. Yeah. So because I got 2 boxes, I got 2 of each. Yeah. So there's like 1 tank which is a transport tank. Yeah. And 1 tank which is like a gun tank. Excuse me. So the options for each tank, the gun tank has like a guy who's holding the gun. Yeah. And the transport tank technically has like 2 guys riding in the back. But for me, it makes no sense that there's 2 guys riding in the back. Because...
Unless you want more work for yourself.
1 is like you've got to paint more stuff.
Yeah.
And 2, like when you're playing on the table, you probably want to signify that there's someone in the bank, in the tank. Yeah. So you're probably going to put a model like on the tank. Yeah. To show that there's like a model in the tank.
Yeah, and then you already have guys there.
And then, but you don't want the guys there taking up space. Yeah. So what I did is like I said, okay, there's going to be no guys riding in the backs of the transports. So there's going to be like an empty. And then in the one that's the gunner, there's going to be the gunner. Yeah. So now the way that I built them was that there's 4 tanks, 2 of them are gun tanks, 2 of them are transport tanks. Yeah. So the guns with the gun tanks have the guy with the gun. Yeah, sure. And the ones with with the transports have nothing. Okay. So that meant that from both boxes, I had 8 guys. Yeah. From the transports, which could have been transports. Yeah. And I had 2 extra gunners. So that meant I had 10 models. Yeah. 10 Harlequins models.
That's a low value right there.
That were not being used. Yeah, yeah. And I needed 12 models to make 2 troops. Yeah. To make 24 troops. Yeah. So all these models went on bases. Yeah. So I got 10 models extra. So then I just needed 2 extra guys to make 12. And then I had 24 Harlequins.
So where did you get the 2 extra guys?
Great question, Casimir. Yeah. That was the question that I wanted to ask. Yeah. So, as another part of my Harlequins project, I wanted to buy all the characters, of course. Yeah. So, the Death Jester, I converted from... There's like something from like Sisters of Battle. which have like a
It's
Harlequin.
like a special character from one of the novels.
Yeah, it's like a Harlequin guy and like a sister's.
Yeah,
one.
he's like a cocked Harlequin.
Yeah, he's
who
like
follows around the
exactly.
sister.
He's
You're
like
bro, what are you doing?
He's like a cook Harlequin.
She's not worth it. She's never gonna love you. Stop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I got this guy and I put like a big gun on him from the Corsair kit, which Fraz
Yeah,
gave
because
me.
the Death Jester is like the big sniper
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Like,
So he has like basically the biggest gun that someone can carry.
Yeah.
And I added like a spiky bit on it that it looks like a Death Jester gun.
Yeah, because it has some kind of scythe or something.
Yeah, and then I sculpted like the collar that looks like a Jester collar.
Yeah.
With the green stuff, and
Yeah,
I think it looks really good.
Yeah,
it looks really nice. So that was like my Death Jester character.
Yeah.
My Shadow Seer character.
Mm-hmm.
I bought the Age of Sigma L. I don't know what the fuck it's called. Like the moose elves.
The guy who's sitting on the stone, right?
The moose elves. Yeah,
it's
the
like cross-legged.
Yeah, he's like sitting cross-legged on the stone.
Yeah.
And I basically just had this head swap and a staff swap.
Lumineth Realm Lords.
Yeah, not the moose elves.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Of course.
Yeah.
How could you not know?
Yeah. And I was really stupid and I like cut off the cloak halfway and then realised that it should have gone to the floor and then I had to re-sculpt it. Stupid. But I did it anyway, it's fine. I fixed the problem. But yeah, that looks really cool. And
that's like a typical conversion thing. Like also you're like, I need to put a lot of effort into thinking before I cut it. You cut, you're like, fuck it. Like,
yeah, and I cut it and glued it together. I was like, I did not need to cut that.
I also do the thing like I cut and then right after cut I'm like, what? Fuck.
But I like cut all the way through it. Oh shit! I didn't need to do that. Anyway, it was fine. I re-sculpted it, and then for the Troop Master character, I bought There's like a game, Warhammer. It's not Warhammer Quest. It's like some game. Other like. It's not Age of Sigmar, but it's like the one where they have like you have a team of like 5 guys.
Oh, you mean Shadespire or something like this?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Let's call it Shadespire.
Yeah.
There's like a Games Workshop intro game thing where you have like a small team of like 5 guys.
Yeah, it's like a card game.
Yeah, it's like the Lumineth team.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's like one guy with like an owl.
Oh yeah.
And he has like a bit of like a funny like a back thingy, and I basically cut off his arm, gave him Eldrad's sword because I'd done the conversion before. Did the head swap, which I've done on all the Harlequins.
Yeah, it's like the 3D.
Printed. Yeah. So I should also say that I've 3D printed.
Yeah, you have these like say full.
It's like an Eldar head without any eyes.
Yeah, like the full metal visors.
Yeah. So it's like a full like smooth visor.
Yeah, it looks a bit like in Dune, the Sardaukar visor.
Yeah, something like that. Because my intention is that I'm gonna like freehand some designs or like Harlequin like shapes or something like sort of Squid Game style.
They all have funny smileys and shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet, but yeah, that's the head swap. And so I've made this guy into like the Harlequin Troop Master. He looks really good. I'm really happy with that conversion actually. And then basically I needed 2 extra guys, so I used 2 guys from that kit to add to the Harlequins. The 2 extra models that I needed, I just kind of converted them into models of the Harlequins using all the parts that I had from the different sprues.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
and then
so
you still have extras in that.
Yeah. There's loads because the Harlequins come with like multiple different weapon options.
Yeah.
So that was basically like my Christmas project.
Yeah.
And I've been also that was like a big project, but I've also been really busy with other stuff as well. Yeah. I did the 2 Warlocks just before Christmas.
Yeah.
I did the Warlock Skyrunner just after Christmas. And then
that's painted as well.
Yeah, it's already done.
Yeah, that's already painted. Yeah.
That was because Rasmus was telling me that Warlock Skyrunner is shit. I was like, why?
Shit.
He's like, it's 45 points and you can just do objectives. Like that's exactly what I need.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to try it this weekend.
Okay.
So that's a plan. I painted that, and then so actually there's a story there. So, like my army is like orange and black is kind of the color scheme.
Yeah.
And my Farseer is like white. That's like the extra color. So the Warlock, I don't want him to be white, the same color as the Farseer, so maybe I just do him orange. And I always spray paint I spray paint models black to start with. And I started like painting him, like doing the orange on the shoulder pads, because I knew that the shoulder pads were going to be orange, and I was like, actually it's quite cool like black. I'm just going to leave it black. And it looked really cool black. Yeah. So I kept it black. And so the warlocks are like with the black robes and the orange shoulder pads. They look really cool. So if you want to check that out, go on the Discord.
Discord.
Go on the Discord. You see my warlocks. I'm a warlock Skyrunner.
Fuck me, man. Yeah, you'll be just like fucking rapid firing.
Yeah, I've been smashing
crazy.
It out. And then my wife bought me my Avatar of Cain conversion model. Mm-hmm. So my plan was like back before like Aspect Host got nerfed. Yeah. I was like, okay, maybe I'm gonna do like Aspect Host army. I have like a plan in my head for it, but I'm not gonna say anything yet because I need to do my Avatar of Cain first.
Yeah, true. Like, you shouldn't promise too much.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, the Avatar of Cain, I was like, okay, I don't want to just have the standard Avatar of Cain.
Yeah, because it's like the model's nice, but it's also kind of, it's very, all the poses are very similar.
It's all the same.
And you've seen it, like we've seen it so many times now.
Exactly.
It has something like the little flame thing on the base. It just like, I don't know. It just
flame thing
looks the same. Like
so, my kind of hobby mojo is about converting stuff. Yeah, that's what I like to do. And 40k, there's not so much, especially when you're playing Eldar, because
other factions lend themselves, like Chaos lends.
Yeah, if you're doing Chaos, then fine.
I feel like I'm converting so much more than I did in Fantasy. Yeah. So I'm like the opposite. It's because I'm like Chaos,
Exactly. So for me, I wanted to find something to convert. Yeah, sure. And so I was like, all right, Avatar of Cain, I'm going to do something fun. So my wife bought me the Magnus model from Thousand Suns.
Exactly. Minus Red.
Yeah. And so I've started a project to convert this model into Avatar of Cain.
Yeah, I had a little look up there. He has like hooves. He has you have sculpted a little helmet on him.
Yeah. So one of the challenges, there's a number of challenges in this model that I didn't realise before I bought it. Was one of them is that the Magnus head is tiny compared to his actual size.
His pecs is pretty big. Like,
it's like he was a normal human size, and by becoming a Primarch, he enlarged his whole body.
Yeah, he took a lot of steroids.
Yeah, he took a lot of steroids, but he forgot to enlarge his head, and his head stayed the same size.
I have this memory of the first time I watched Casino Royale with Daniel Craig as James Bond. There's like the first time he doesn't have a shirt on. He's on the beach, and he like obviously he has on like a shit ton of steroids for that movie.
Yeah, of course.
And he like steps out of the water, and I remember I was like, his head is so small. Like he has just he has the widest shoulders in the world. He's so fucking pumped up, and obviously they make him like probably do push-ups and shit before the scene to make the
just to get a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And he just looks so big, and his head is just like rip, and I was like, what the hell? And that's what it looks like.
Yeah, so that's how it looks like normally. So right, I need to enlarge the head a little bit. I also want him to look like an Avatar of Cain. So obviously he's losing the hair. He's losing all the implants.
The hair looks like shit.
He's losing all the feathers and stuff, like all the bullshit like that.
I need to steal your Zenith feathers.
Yes, you can definitely take those.
Yeah.
I'm gonna I've been trying to shave off all the Zenith bit from the armor, just to make it. I want him to have a little bit of armor anyway.
Sure.
So there's a little bit of work to do still on it, but I've realized that with the face, what do I do?
Yeah.
Because he's got a small head, so
I
either keep a small head, and like try and make the helmet look big, but then he's gonna have this really tiny face. Or I was like, okay, maybe I can find like a big head in my bits box, and didn't really find anything.
No, that's like a weird size. I don't think they made a lot of models in that size.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, maybe I could get something from somewhere else. And in the end, I was like, you know what? I'm good enough that I could just fucking sculpt the whole head. Sculpt the head. It's like, fuck's sake. Okay, so I've started to sculpt a fucking massive head onto him with Milliput, and other stuff has taken my priority, so I haven't got that far, but I've got so far as I've like done some eyes and a nose and a helmet.
This is like a really stretching your muscles.
I
feel like almost no matter how it turns out, you're gonna learn a lot and you're gonna be way better afterwards.
Yeah, yeah. So far it looks okay.
Yeah.
I got some bits from the guy at the club. For like the actual Avatar of Cain bits.
Yeah.
So he has like the crest from the Avatar of Cain, like the helmet thing. so that's kind of like the basis of like, I kind of started with that and like built around it a bit so it looks like an avatar of Cain.
Yeah.
I got the weapons as well from the same guy, so he's going to have the same weapon and
the sword and everything.
And so the other challenge is that, so I don't know if you've ever noticed with this kit, with the Magnus kit, that the hand that's holding the spear is like a tiny hand.
No.
And the hand that's like
reaching
is like a big hand.
Because it's like he has like demon fire in the big hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
I never thought of it.
I don't know how I'm gonna do this or if I'm gonna care or maybe people don't notice.
It's also gonna be like a Mongo with like a
one small hand and one big hand. I don't know how this is gonna work.
Exactly. It's like, guy, you're gonna be turned into an avatar Cain, but you're also gonna become disfigured.
yeah. So
are you ready for your disability insurance checks?
So it's either do I sculpt a big hand or do I sculpt a small hand? So I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet.
It's easier to sculpt a big one, I guess.
I have been doing other things in my hobby, which I'm going to get to in a second.
Dude.
But that's the project that I've also been working on in the background, but it's a project maybe for next year. Well, after this year at some point. So the other projects that I've been working on, I finished the Warlock Skyrunner, and this week I've been working on I've written in my notes that the next thing I'm going to do is maybe do Dire Avengers. I need to decide on a colour scheme or start the Harlequins.
Yeah.
But I decided to do something else. Yeah. I had like this epiphany that I wanted to get some Shining Spears.
Yeah, because it's a fun unit, right? Like, it's fast.
Yeah, it's fast. They're good anti-monster, anti-large.
Yeah.
So that's one of the problems that I've been having in the club with the Space Marines. I can't deal with Dreadnoughts.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to get this unit.
They have like a anti-large, like 4+ thing.
3+.
3+, okay.
Yeah. So that could be fun. So this week I painted them. They look pretty good. I haven't finished yet. I just need to finish off like I did some like stripes on them with the
but you made them completely white, so that's very different from the others.
Yeah. So instead of doing the black spray paint undercoat, I did a white spray paint undercoat because it's going to be mostly white.
Yeah.
Which was much easier. I had such a fucking issue with the white spray paint.
Yeah, the white spray paint is ass.
Sucks.
Like, it's terrible.
This
is one of the things where I would say, like, especially for undercoating, airbrush is not really worth it. Like, I undercoat with spray can as well, except for white. Like, white is so much better with airbrush. Like, it's so much smoother because white spray can is fucking ass. Like,
so much hassle with it.
Terrible.
Oh my god. I mean, it's fine in the end, but it's.
Did you get like texture and stuff? Or like
I got everything.
What did you do about it?
I mean, we've been going for like probably 45 minutes on fucking hobby shit. Yeah, I mean, we're here now. Okay, so the story was, I was like, right, I'm going to be so careful with these because I want them to be looking really nice. Like, my whole army's been quite good so far, so I don't want to fuck it up.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, I'm going to heat up the cans.
Yep.
Beforehand because it's
responsible
fucking winter outside. Like it's been snowing today. Like 2 weeks ago we had like 2 feet of snow.
Yeah.
So there's still snow in my garden. So right, I was like, okay, I'm gonna heat up the cans. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna spray them, and then as soon as I spray them, I'm gonna bring them right inside.
Yeah.
So that it's warm next to the radiator, so that they can dry quickly.
Yeah.
And it's not like drying out, sitting outside drying.
Yeah, sure.
And then I'm going to go back outside and heat the cans up while I'm waiting.
Yeah, sure.
Spray them again, like the second coat, come back inside.
Yeah.
This was my plan. So I did this, and somehow it got all like the fucking like sticky like hairs and bits and shit.
Yes.
Like I don't know how it got there, but it was there.
Yeah, sure.
It's like fuck's sake. I was like, okay, to an extent you can like pull the bits off, and to an extent you can wait until it's dry.
Yeah.
So and I was so patient. I was so patient. I was like, I was there like listening to like a half an hour podcast, waiting for it to dry, and then going back out again.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm doing this in between my daughter being like awake and so it was like a bit of a process. So it was taking some time, but I was like, okay, I'm being very patient. This is gonna be so perfect. And at one point I realised that one of the... Because what I did is I built the whole model, but I left the arm off with the spear.
Yeah, makes sense, because it can be a different color.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a different color, but it was more like there's like one arm which is holding like the handlebars of the bike, and then the other arm which is this lance. And the one that's the lance, it was kind of covering stuff, so I was like, I can probably get around the left arm which is holding the bike.
Yeah.
But the right arm, I was like, I'm just gonna spray it separately, so that it's easier just to paint underneath it.
Yeah.
I prefer to assemble everything if I can.
Yeah.
Like, I was also considering just doing the rider separately, but I just couldn't be asked to fuck around with it.
No. Because as soon as you make that decision, you inevitably end up with like getting distracted, and then you have a guy
lose something, you lose a leg.
Yeah, or like I have the thing where you have like a riderless jet bike that you play with for like 6 months until you finally paint it or something like.
Yeah, and then I was like, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
So after going through this process, I realized that one of the lance arms I'd been like touching, and it got like my fingerprints on it, and it was all fucked up, and I was like,
that's terrible.
There's another one on the sprue.
Chuck it in the bin.
So I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna go cut off another one on the sprue.
Yeah.
Like sand it down nicely, cut all this sprue flash off it. And I went outside and I sprayed it, and I looked down and I was like, where's it gone?
And you just sprayed it onto the floor.
And I'd sprayed it onto the floor, and I couldn't find it.
In the snow, like.
In the snow, and it took me like, I was like half an hour looking for it. I just couldn't find it. I still can't find it.
It's
still out there somewhere.
This is like a great like midday activity. Let's look for the sprue.
Yeah, I was like, if I had like 18...
It probably really flew away.
Yeah, I have no idea where it went.
Yeah, but this...
I was spraying next to my like wood pile from my fire, and I was like, it's gone somewhere.
It's going to be in the fire eventually.
Yeah, I'll find it maybe 2 weeks later. I don't know. Anyway, I could not find it, and I was like, you know what? I've already like fingered everything and fingerprinted everything and fucked everything. I'm gonna fix it when it's dry.
Yeah.
And when it's dry, like it's fine. It hasn't been actually dried. It dried better than I expected.
Yeah, because usually you see it when it's wet, and then like as it dries, it kind of flows a little bit, right?
Yeah. So it actually wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
I was I was worried that I'd done it too close and it would be too sticky or.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely worst part, you can always like lightly sand it with some fine grit sandpaper or something, but
yeah, in the end it was fine. Yeah. It actually worked out.
I didn't notice it when I was looking at
it. So I basically finished them yesterday, and then today I tried to do some like, I don't have an airbrush, and I refuse to get an airbrush, but I put some like tape, like masking tape down to do some like patterns on the things, and I've done it on one of them, but I just need to like neaten it up with the brush.
Yeah. And
then I'm finished. And I need to do some transfers. That's the other thing I need to talk about. I hate transfers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're almost done. I'm going to play with them this weekend anyway.
Nice. Yeah, they look really good.
Yeah,
it's the smoothest white you've done.
Yeah, I think so too. But maybe just a little bit more white, like neatening it up anyway. But
sure.
Yeah, we're almost there. And then the last thing for hobby,
dude,
almost there.
This is crazy. This is why we need to do regular podcasts, because
I have too much.
You're doing too much hobby. The problem is then it will become more transparent how little I've done. Like,
okay, this should be an inspiration to everyone else out there. Like how much you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe this is like 3 hours a day.
Yeah, I mean that is a lot for a lot of people, but I think you can still. But considering. I do think that a lot of people you can get like half an hour to an hour a day.
Yeah.
Like that's realistic, I would say. And
I'm lucky that my daughter, she sleeps for like half an hour in the morning, an hour in the day, and then I get a little bit of time in the evening before she goes to bed.
I'm gonna sound horrible to a lot of people who actually have parents, and I'm not, so that's why I really want to do it, you know? But like, I'm gonna guess that for most people in your position, they spend that time sitting on their phones, you know, because you're so exhausted from having to like interact with your child and being a good parent and cooking and fixing and cleaning or whatever it is, right? So then you're just decompressing by looking at your phone. But if you can change your mindset to the point where you're decompressing by doing hobby, then you're getting stuff done.
Yeah, for me.
But I'm also a hypocrite because I also decompress by looking at my phone after work. So I mean.
But you're completely right. Like my way of like relaxing is by doing hobby. Actually,
exactly. And that's why you get so much stuff
but
done.
I'm also lucky that my daughter sleeps at night, and her happy place is when she's in the baby carrier.
Yeah.
So like I can just make food for her.
Yeah, dude, he's like a Nemesis Dread Knight. Like Lau is cooking. It's like the daughter is like in the front, controlling the movements, just cooking and whatever, and it's perfect. Like, and it's great. You put them in her in the baby character.
She's so happy.
Exactly. And she no noise at all. Yeah. It's perfect. Like,
that's a happy place. So I can do like the hoovering with her in the baby carrier. I can do the washing up. I can put in the baby carrier. I can make her all the food for like the next 3 days. Yeah. So that's my day right now. So I'm being very productive.
Yeah, it's good.
The last piece of hobby.
The pinnacle.
I bought some custom decals, which were like
decals. Okay.
Yeah. So. At the start, I was like, I'm just going to freehand everything. Because I'm a freehand.
Because you were a man when you started this project.
Yeah,
but now you become just an ant, like a less than man. A shadow of man.
I folded very quickly. After about 2 freehand things, I was like, you know what? It would look so much better if this was a decal.
Yeah.
It would be so much easier. And now I hate decals. But yeah, so I bought some custom decals from this guy on Etsy. The quality is pretty good, but like... transparency is not that good, so when they're going over like different colours, let's say you have a stripe and you're putting it on top, you get a bit of difference in colour because you can
between the stripes,
because you can see like the background colour.
Yeah.
So that's the only downside, but otherwise it was pretty good.
Sure.
But I'm not very good at applying them.
Sure.
I do everything. I do like the gloss varnish. I do like the microsol, microset, whatever fucking way around it is. I never remember. I have to look on the internet every time.
Yeah, fair enough.
But like I make a mess of it every time.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I have like multiples of these decals because otherwise it would be really bad.
But is the problem that they're not going on smooth, or that like what's the issue?
I think the problem is that they're a bit too big.
Okay.
I've asked for them specifically too big so I can put them on vehicles.
Yeah.
And then I've been trying to like do like fancy decal things, and it hasn't really been working.
Yeah. It's like you have a curved surface.
Really big. Curved surface. It's a big decal. Like it gets folded under.
Yeah.
I have to fuck around with it, and then I get frustrated, and it takes too long, and then I fuck it up, and then like breaks, and it breaks or it stretches, or when it actually I get it in the perfect position after half an hour.
Yeah.
And it finally sets, and then it sets with like a ridge. And I try and smooth it out, and then it breaks.
Yeah.
There's so many possibilities that it can fuck up.
Yeah.
But the custom decals are really nice. They're like my faction logo thing that I decided to do.
It's like a brazier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the Eldar book, whatever. But they look really nice actually when they're finished. And I think what I do with the Shining Spears is when I've like neatened up the orange, I'm gonna put slap a decal on top as well.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. That's the hobby.
Crazy.
It was a lot.
Yeah, it's a marathon.
I'm sorry that it took so long. I've done quite a lot. I wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
like, let it be an inspiration to you all.
Hopefully it was interesting for everyone. Like some of the choices that I made, I don't know. Maybe it's useful. Maybe it's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you wanted to skip to this part of the show to find out the more interesting stuff, welcome back.
I don't know. You gotta timestamp this shit, like.
No.
So yeah, welcome back.
So now we have this section which is about how to hobby. I feel like I've talked a lot, so I want you to give your hobby tip of the month.
Yeah, exactly. So I was thinking like what is it that I did that's interesting, and I think specifically I want to talk about like mounting people or like things onto mounts where they don't belong, so to say, or like where they weren't initially, because this has been like in my mind a lot recently, because I talked about putting the Khorne Berserkers onto the Juggernauts, but I also considered if I wanted to do like plague marines on plague drones, which I haven't done, and I'm not sure if I will do, but still that's like a possibility. And I also had like when I way back when I was doing a conversion for Old World, I moved like a Tomb King character from a horse from standing onto like the dragon to have it like actually mounted on the saddle. And so I thought like, okay, well this is actually interesting how to do, because like initially I think for the more difficult conversions, like what you really need to do is like there's two things you need to consider, right? It's like the angle of the pelvis and the angle of like the knee joint. So
the knees are the hardest part. Exactly. I'm an expert at this because I've done this many times.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
I'm curious.
This is my perspective.
I'm curious what you're gonna think.
So basically, like I would say, like for the Tomb King guy, for example, what I ended up doing was angling the legs essentially, and then cutting the knee joint to put the knees kind of backwards, so he'd be squeezing his knees and have the knees back. And I think the mistake I did was that I didn't enlarge the is this the femur? No, it would be the what's it called? The below the knee, that bone.
Tibia and fibia.
Yes, I did. I didn't enlarge those tibia and fibias enough to make it so like his legs look a little bit squat, because I think the positioning became really good in the end. But he looks like he has too small legs. Because
too short.
Because like when Mol is standing, and then you make a cut underneath the knees,
you need to add a bit.
You put it. So that would be like that would be my tip, right? It's like it's not so hard in my opinion to like just cut it in the right place.
Okay.
But the like once you find the place where it looks like the rider is sitting on top of the mount, you also need to consider, okay, well, you know, the leg, like what the leg is like when it's standing, it's like hiding some of the length, so to say, in the model. So then when you're cutting it, you're also destroying material.
The problem that you did is that you cut the leg below the knee.
Mm-hmm.
You should never cut the leg below the knee.
No, I think I actually cut above.
You should always cut above the knee.
I actually did cut above this time, but because of how it's spaced, you know, like because he was wearing like leg armor, it still looks too short, you know.
Okay.
So I needed to add length to it.
You need to add length in the femur?
Yeah, now I need to look at it again. Okay. It's been a while, but so I was doing this for some of the Space Marine models as well, and that's the same
with the Juggernauts.
Yeah, Juggernauts. That's the same problem.
But it's one of the hardest conversions you will ever do, actually.
But what I want to say as like my hobby tip for this is like, you know, so obviously a lot of times you have to actually do this difficult conversion, but the fucking best part is you just find the guys running, and you just go like. And you put him on top, and it turns out that
running. Because he's twisting.
Yeah, it's a twisting running guy actually fits really good on top of something. Obviously, if you want him to be like very securely on the saddle, you're gonna have to do the same conversion.
But it's not the worst idea. Yeah. So I like what you're saying. So what?
Unfortunately I don't have them with me, so I can't show you them. But it looks to me like, considering the effort I put into it.
Yeah.
It looks way better than I expected. Like it's so much easier. Yeah. I looked at it and I'm like, I don't even know if it will look so much better if I just cut all of this apart, you know, and like put it back together. Because like
just keep it how it is.
It's like, especially if you have like something like a wild rider, you know, like a rider is like not sitting in the saddle. Like you even fancy you consider somebody who's like a light cavalry guy who doesn't even have a saddle at all. Yeah. Like it looks like he's springing off the horse. And like a dynamic running model has that kind of feeling to it, you know. So it worked really well in the end.
What models did you use specifically?
So I had the Khorne Berserker kit, and then the Juggernauts, what are they called, Skull Crushers, Khorne, which is I assume kind of the same as well.
So basically, you just plump them on.
Yeah, like literally just plump them on, and then like I added these like little bars for the feet to like attach to, so they looks like they actually have something to. And then the big thing that I did is like I found some arms and like that would look like they could hold the reins. Like either sometimes they have like bolt,
the shield,
shield or bolt pistol or whatever it was. And then I took these jewelry chains, like the small ones, and I just like kind of, you know, wrap them around the wrists of the moles and attach them to somewhere on like the color of the Juggernaut. And it's just about like maybe you have to cut the arm a bit to make it look like it's actually pulling it or holding it or something. But it looks
fun.
Fucking surprisingly simple and
amazing.
A really good like.
Cool. So I'll give you my perspective on this.
Go for it. After how many dragons? 200 dragons? 4? 3?
Okay, I mean, to be fair, this specific conversion, I did one on my Helmor.
Oh, I don't remember your Helmor now. Whatever.
Yeah. One on the Dread Elf Dragon.
Yeah.
Same conversion. What else have I done the same conversion on? I could have done it on the Manticore for the Dread Elves, but I didn't. I used the actual legs for that, and it didn't work very well. So I should have done it.
Which actual, like some actual mounted legs, or it just wasn't the same. Okay.
Yeah, the torso was too small for the legs.
Yeah.
It was fine, but
yeah,
it could have been slightly better.
Could have been better.
The dragon for the most recent complicated dragon.
The big scales one.
Yeah, I just used a model.
Yeah.
The other scratchbook dragons, I've also just used models. So it's only actually maybe the more recent stuff. But what I've done, what I always did was cut at the knee, but above the knee, and then just extended the femur part of the leg to fit. But you're kind of right, like...
You have to extend something.
Yeah, because...
Whatever you cut, you have to extend.
You have to remove something and extend something to make it work.
It.
But like, what I feel like, instead of... You shouldn't necessarily think that it's sitting. You should do it as like kneeling. So you have like the leg like coming back.
Yeah,
more.
for sure. Because that's what you're doing when you're riding, right? Like you're squeezing your knees, I say, without having really rode. But you know how to ride.
Yeah, but when you're sitting on a horse, or even like if you're standing on a horse, your legs are like vertical almost.
Okay.
And if you're standing up in the stirrups, like if you were lancing someone, you would be standing up in the stirrups.
Yeah.
So you're basically like, you're standing but maybe leaning forward a bit. But when you're on a dragon or a juggernaut or some kind of other fantasy beast, I feel like you're not going to have your legs down because the beast is so wide. Yeah. Otherwise you're going to be like...
He says with a pooping motion.
Yeah, I don't know, like a baby.
Yeah.
like shitting thing. Like you're... If you watch Game of Thrones, like the way that they ride the dragons is a bit more realistic because they kind of like kneel. Yeah. They kind of squat on the dragons a bit, and they the bottom parts of the legs. The bottom parts of the leg are kind of backwards, and they're kind of like sitting. A bit on it. Like my daughter, she's just learning to crawl right now, and like the way that she's doing it, she's kind of like kneeling. Yeah. But like sitting back on her like heels. Yeah. So. That's kind of how I'm modelling my models when I want them to mount like a big monster. Yeah. So like the knees are kind of where the pressure is, and the heels are backwards, and then they're sitting on their heels. Yeah. And that's also quite difficult to model. But if you want to do this, you start with you glue the bottom parts of the legs from the foot to the knee, and then you glue the torso. And then you kind of fill in the gap between between the hip and the knee.
You put it where it looks natural on the model. Yeah. You can also just like use sticky putty or whatever. And find the extra length you need.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. And then I mean, if you can use some of the leg that you have left, then you can use that part.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think I had this also when I did my Chaos Lord conversion, which is like he's like kind of one leg high up on a rock, and then like he's pulling like some slave or whatever with him, and then also I had a model with that pose, but I wanted it to have like the Space Marine armor, and it was a fancy pose, so I had to like cut a Chaos Space Marine leg apart, and I had the exact same issue that the femur wasn't long enough. Yeah. And then and I feel like that's like a key thing. It's like you just have to extend it. Like you just put a pin in it and just like and it's not so hard, right? You just put a pin in it, and then you just put green stuff or milliput in and smooth it out, and then you have that. It's also not super noticeable if you don't have like the perfect, let's say, armor detailing right at the knee joint, and nobody really notices.
And you can also, if you're doing this as you explained, like you can also add like an armor plate. You can even just cut the leg off.
Yeah.
Put like a pin from the hip to the knee.
Yeah.
Do the milliput and then just slap on like an armor plate on top if you have something.
Yeah, or like chain, or you sculpt like a strap or whatever, like whatever it is, like some distraction.
Put a skull or something on top. Yeah, you can fill it in. Yeah. So, if anyone wants any advice like this, write to us on the Discord, and we can help you out. Yeah. I'm more than happy to talk you through some kind of the conversions like this. So. My hobby tip is way simpler than this.
Yeah, but I'm kind of intrigued because I've seen the notes and I'm like, I don't understand. What do you mean?
So I was watching a speed paint tutorial.
Okay.
And I'm not really one for watching painting tutorials in general, but this one caught my eye for some reason on YouTube. Anyway, so the tip that I got from it was paint metallics first when you're painting models.
But why?
Great question, Casimir. I'm glad you asked. So the logic is. So I would normally do metallics last because it's like one of those things in my head. I was like, it's like the technical stuff that I just do at the end. It's like usually I do the gold. Gold is like what I usually use for like metallics for like. I mean, for Eldar it's like the little like icon-y things or like the things around the gemstones. So it's like gold and then a bit of wash and then gold and then a bit of silver. That's kind of my technique. But the problem with this is that like sometimes you make a mess and you have to like neaten it up, or sometimes you're doing the gold, you're waiting for it to dry, you do something else and you go like you make a mess because you go over the gold, and then
why do you feel like you make more of a mess with metallics rather than the other paint that's on there?
This is the exact question that you should ask. You're doing so well today. So the reason that you paint the metallics first is that it's much easier to paint over metallics than it is to paint metallics over another colour.
Yeah, they're way more transparent.
Exactly. Yeah. So what you do is you paint your metallics first, because you can be as messy as you like when you're like slapping on the metallics.
Yeah.
And then you finish it off. And then when you're doing the rest of your painting, you go carefully around the metallics.
Sure.
So that because you can paint over it. Because if you do the other way around and you do metallics last, it's actually harder.
You have to paint more layers.
To do the layers.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to speed up your painting, you paint your metallics first, and you can be as messy as you like.
Yeah.
And then you can do like neatening up with the block colours afterwards.
Yeah. That's perfect. Like
it's a simple tip.
Yeah.
But since I've found it, I do it every time and it works really well.
So for me, like I actually do it the same way. But like for me, the reason I do metallics first is because I usually use washes for metallics, and a lot of times I've kind of stopped washing my normal colors a lot of times because I feel like you don't really need to. Like I think about it like this, like if I want to have like a, let's say, I don't know what's a good color in this case, let's say green, and I want dark green in the recess, very simple, and a slightly lighter green for most of it, and maybe I'm not even doing like edge highlight or anything, right? Then like why would I paint it a mid green, wash it, and then paint mid green again, and then highlight when I could just paint dark green, mid green, done, Do you see what I mean?
Yep.
So like that. Whereas metallics, I feel like it doesn't work like this. Like metallics look really good when you do metallic and wash and maybe one more layer.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work to make like dark metallic and then light metallic. So like I just do metallics, wash it, as you say, messily, and then I do all my other stuff on top because I don't need the wash. I don't risk the wash like getting into my other paint.
Yeah. But that's kind of the same, right?
Yeah.
It's that it's much easier to paint over the metallics.
Yeah.
So you do the metallics first, do the washes, everything, finish it.
Yeah.
And then you don't need to kind of like worry about it. You just have to be careful that you don't go over it.
At some point, you always have to be careful, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is like a speed painting tip.
Yeah.
Do the metallics first, and then you don't need to worry about it afterwards.
Yeah.
Like painting the metallic paint on top of the paint that you've already done.
Sure.
That's my small tip. So we had a little bit of some stuff to talk about that people have written to us.
Mm-hmm.
So firstly, we got Lasse, who was saying that there's a 40k club in Klampenborg in Denmark.
Yeah. Klampenborg is to the north.
It's north of Copenhagen.
North of Copenhagen, yeah.
Where they play every Wednesday from 5 o'clock. He asked us to join if we want. We would love to, but Casimir lives in Munich and I am at ZZ Games in Tastrup. But yeah.
Maybe you'll manage to get there at
maybe I'll get over there at some point. So if there's anyone who's playing 40k in Denmark, or I guess in Copenhagen specifically, there's a club in Klampenborg every Wednesday at 5 o'clock. So if you,
it's for free as well.
It's also for free.
This is like, I don't know how it is in Denmark, but this is like a big thing in Germany. Like none of the clubs are for free.
In Denmark, it's all free.
That's crazy. Like in Germany, it's all pretty expensive, to be honest, to play.
Cool. I mean, there's probably some places that are not free, but where I play at ZZ Games, it's free.
That's good.
Anyway, yeah, if you wanna get in touch with the guys who are playing there, feel free to write to us. You can email me ammertimedk@gmail.com, and I can put you in touch with Lasse, who's playing there, and then you guys can just hang out.
Yeah.
So get in touch if you want to join those guys, and I can put you in touch with them. And then we had a question from Paul on the Discord.
Yes. So Paul asks, for those who have recently started playing 40k, what's your favorite thing about the game? I feel like that's actually a really good question.
Because we've just started playing 40k. So Casimir, what's your favorite thing about 40k?
I would say that from a game perspective, and I think that to me is the thing that makes it most appealing, because like there's a lot of games with really good models. So like for me, it's not the thing with 40k is not like it's just the aesthetics or whatever, because there's tons of games with really cool aesthetics. But I feel like what makes 40k kind of stand out is how the game plays, in my opinion, because it's really fun as a new player to play in a way that I feel like something like Ninth Age or maybe the Old World, without having played it so much, is not. And it's that the game is very dynamic. Like it's very back and forwards when you play. Like when you play like let's say a battle game, let's say a fancy battle game, maybe that's a generic term for it. It's very binary, you know, like you make the right charge or whatever, and you have like a big combat, and somebody loses, and the game is over, you know. Whereas what makes 40k fun as a new player is that you have all these objectives, and you feel like you're doing stuff even when you're losing, in my opinion. Like especially when you don't know the game that well, it's also kind of, you don't understand that you've already lost, you know, to see, like in a way. So you're just like, I have to go to this point, and I have to collect those things, and I have to do this and this objective, and it, like, you know, and I'm still like engaged even though I'm maybe 10 points behind, you know. And that makes it way more fun for me to play than going like, you beat my big unit, and now I guess let's just stop, you know, like kind of thing.
Now we can stop because we know what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe
it might be 18-2, it might be 20-0, but if we're on like a friendly game in the weekend,
I don't care. Like,
it's game over.
And maybe for an advanced 40k player, it's a bit like this in 40k as well, where I didn't get this objective, so I know I can't catch up. But I still feel like the game, there's more variables that in that sense, like in terms of the scoring at least.
Yeah, I think,
and that makes it really fun for me.
I think I would say something similar, and I want to kind of specify the objectives. That I really like the objectives, the way the objectives work in 40k.
Yeah,
and it's kind of similar to what you're saying. You're saying it's like very dynamic, and because of the way that the game works with the objectives, is that you don't really know who's won until the end, and you kind of have to keep fighting until the end, because of if you get the right cards, you can get like a 20-point turn, and you suddenly turned it around,
or your opponent draws shit cards,
and they can't get shit, and so I really like the way the objectives work, how how dynamic it is, like you're not really trying necessarily to kill the opponent. Obviously, it helps you in your objective game to reduce what the opponent can do by eliminating their units, but it's more about like how much can you score, and like you have to this turn you have to go here. It's like okay great, I need to go there and get my guy over here, and then this turn you have to go onto this thing and you have to do this.
It's really engaging,
and it's very engaging. And I think it's also engaging for the other person because they're also thinking do I use my Overwatch here? Do I use my Overwatch here? Because I need to stop them doing this. How can I limit their points value? Maybe they're gonna get this objective next turn, so I need to stop them from doing this. So I think it's quite engaging for both players, and the way that the game works is compared to, obviously we're coming from a Ninth Age background mostly, and it's night and day. Compared
Ninth Age it's way more relaxing to play because the objectives are very clear already.
Yeah, you start the game, you know what you're doing. He's like, okay, I'm not gonna get this objective. I'm just gonna sit in the corner.
Yeah, exactly, and that's kind of. I feel like that's maybe. I found in my only tournament experience with 40k. I find that the tournament experience of playing something like Ninth Age is really nice because you do that several times in a row, and sometimes it's not engaging and sometimes it is very engaging, but it's kind of you don't have to stress so much. But in 40k shit's happening all the time.
Yeah.
But conversely, Ninth Age is not at all as fun to play on a Wednesday night, you know, because you're just if it doesn't work out with how matchups or whatever,
you spent 4 hours for
doing
no
nothing.
reason. Yeah.
But with 40k, you're even if you're losing, those 4 hours are kind of engaging.
It's fun, engaging. Yeah. Everyone's rolling dice.
Exactly.
Even if you're not winning, you're still taking stuff off. You're still
scoring points,
competing for objectives and everything. So. Yeah, I think it's just more fun, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's just a lot more fun. So I think at this point we've been talking hobby and all this shit for a long time. We haven't even got to the main topic. I think we're maybe 2 hours in.
Yeah.
But this is just how the podcast is.
Yeah.
If you're here, we're happy. If you're not, tell us to get to the point quicker.
Yeah, sure.
And we get on there. But we're gonna come back after the break and we're gonna get to the main topic, which is gonna be Night Lords.
Yeah, that's good.
Welcome back to the show. Right.
Sadly.
Let's get going.
Finally for the big
For the main topic.
Main
I
topic.
don't know what this is called. This is what would you describe this as?
Rubbing
my hands together because
anticipation.
I'm anticipating the topic. So we're talking about Night Lords. So the premise of this is that GW released a small Horus Heresy fluff PDF thing, which is called a Black Book. And as Casimir alluded to at the start of the show, what I understand is that they have all this kind of information stored in their vaults.
Yeah, the vast archives.
Yeah, and they're going to be releasing on an ongoing basis. It seems like a regular thing that they're going to be putting out over the next sort of months, every now and again.
Probably one for each legion.
Yeah, whether it's each legion or just some specific legion, I don't know. But they're going to be putting out these kind of black books every now and again.
Yeah, sure.
Just to give some insight into some of the chapters, I guess.
Yeah.
Or maybe Eldar. I don't know.
Don't get your hopes up, man.
Yeah. But
everybody knows Eldar didn't exist in the 31st millennium. They only came later.
They existed.
I don't believe in these conspiracy theories.
They were older than the humans.
Yeah, but isn't it weird? Because you've been starting to read the Horus Heresy books, right?
Yes.
Where the fuck are the Eldar?
In the Horus Heresy?
Yeah. Okay, my memory's not perfect. No, but I stopped reading. So
Eldrad teleported the salamanders in.
I don't know if I read that part. When did this happen? Maybe I did. Fuck. I read the first 14 books or something.
I'm pretty sure Eldrad teleported them in.
Yeah, okay. But I just remember thinking when I read the first Horus Heresy books that I'm there's a lot of focus on the Space Marines, but like, where the fuck are all the orcs? Where are all the Eldar? Like, where are all the everything else?
Orcs are not included, but I think exactly. Eldar were like pulling the strings.
Probably. Well, actually, I remember they're in the Alpha Legion books, because the Eldar are like, oh, maybe you guys should turn to Chaos or something, because then we can kill the Empire. And you haven't gotten that yet. No, okay. You'll find out. You'll find out.
Okay. Anyway, so like one thing I wanted to mention is like maybe like this specific choice that they put the Night Lords out is because there's this like new Raptors.
Yeah, it fits in. Yeah, we didn't talk about that.
We didn't talk about that
because that's a bit older. But yeah, like there'll be new Raptors, and Raptors are like typically Night Lord themed. Yeah, let's say.
And we can maybe discuss that kit a little bit later. Yeah. But let's see how far we get.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So. I think.
What did you know about the Night Lords before you started this?
I knew that like Conrad is this kind of like emo guy who's like killing people and.
Exactly, but did you know that he's Batman?
No, but when I read it, I was like, he's Batman.
He's Batman.
Yeah.
Exactly, but this Batman, he flays people alive.
He's like the dark Batman.
Yeah, yes. He's the Batman we all wanted as a kid. Like, oh, don't kill anybody. Shut up, pussy.
Yeah, and actually, literally what I wrote was like, I didn't know much about this faction, but I knew it was kind of like vampire counts.
Yeah, sure.
And it's also called Conrad, which is like one of the vampire counts.
Yeah, it's like, literally vampire counts in space, right?
Yeah, it's like, literally what I put is like space vampires.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like that's going to be like a theme as we go through this, is going to be that the Night Lords are like space vampires.
Yeah.
But they're not vampires, they're humans.
Yeah.
But
the vampires are blood angels, let's get it correct. They do the blood drinking and shit.
Yeah. Anyway, so like like when you open up the this like document, you get like the shoulder pad of the Night Lords.
Yeah.
And it's like the skull with the wings, which is like
the
classic vampires logo. It's like, okay, Games Workshop, like, you're just recycling your IP here. Fair enough.
You know, back in the day, artists were expensive, okay?
Yeah. And the Night Lords are kind of like navy blue coloured with this like logo on.
Yeah, it's like a skull with bat wings.
Yeah, exactly.
Red bat wings.
So you get like, initially you get like the key info, which like it's the 8th Legion, the Primarch is called Conrad Kurz. Obviously, as we discussed, it's like a very classic like vampire count's name. This is like the strategic tendencies are punitive actions, decimation, enforced pacification, terror assaults, and psychological warfare.
Yeah,
and this kind of defines what they do, basically.
And this is also reflected also in the modern rules of 40k, and it has in several editions. Like if you play the Night Lord themed attachments of Chaos Space Marines, you get like battle shock based stuff where it's like like the Raptors, for example, have like you force people to take battle shocks if they're in close combat with them, and then if you play the detachment, maybe you get a bonus if somebody fails,
or you get -1 to your test,
something
or whatever.
Like this.
And this you're going to see as we. This is not talking about the rules. This is completely focused on
but
the
like
fluff.
as a theme.
As a theme, exactly. Like the domain is Nostramo, which was destroyed, and the allegiance is that they're traitors. So you get these kind of like
they're the good guys,
Yeah, and so I thought the main theme of their like philosophy is that they're enacting judgment.
Yeah, exactly.
On the traitors.
So I think this is a good place to start, because how this like text starts, which I think when I read it, I was like, after a while I remembered that I read these in like previous fluff texts, but it was kind of wasn't in the forefront of my mind. Is the fact that like before Conrad Kurz comes back to the Legion, and before they discover Nostramo, how they recruit for the Night Lords is, for whatever reason, because the Emperor is like a sick fuck, he's like, you know what we do with prisoners? We put them in the bottom of every city, in like the deepest, darkest catacombs.
This is exactly what I'm going to talk about.
Make them fucking fight it out, bro. This is the greatest television.
Only the strongest survive.
It's the greatest television of all time.
You have to entertain the populace somehow, right?
And then they're like, oh yeah, but of course, down there when you're fighting, you also get a little bit horny. So you're gonna fuck. And then, you know, when a mommy criminal and a daddy criminal loves each other very much.
That's exactly what they say as well. Okay, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Don't get too excited.
Oh shit! Sorry, I got too horny.
What I thought about this is like my initial impression was that okay, their main theme is that they want to like punish the people in the Imperium who have done wrong. That's kind of their main theme.
Yeah, it's like, you've done wrong, you're terrible, die. It's like how I was speaking when I was a teenager.
And I kind of thought
bad people are bad, good people are good. Easy.
Yeah. Okay. From screen. Anyway. So, I kind of thought, okay, this is like a little bit weak, like kind of, like like a what is it called? Is it operandus modi or something like that?
Yeah, it's like teenager shit.
It's a bit kind of like. This is like the main thing of the whole legion. Is like how many. Like the problem is that they had too many legions. And they have to give a tiny thing for each. They have to give something
like,
to each one.
These guys are the guys who like salamanders.
Yeah. These guys like burning things. These guys are like good logistics. These guys are good at like building stuff.
These guys are the ones you want to hire for your company.
These guys are like lawyers. so it was kind of like okay, yeah. These guys are the guys that are, like want to punish people who do bad.
They're cops. Like they're just like,
they're
just like, well, you're bad, you die.
If I was gonna criticize Games Workshop, I'd be like, this is like not the strongest thing to base a whole legion on.
Sure.
But they decided to do 20 legions. That's their problem.
That's too many. Yeah.
So there's a small paragraph about like how fiercely loyal they are. Like, were they like, asking questions like, were they always monsters? Was it like intentional that they like completely deranged?
Yeah.
Or was it a mistake in the gene seed? And one of the paragraphs of this text is like kind of asking these questions.
Yeah.
So it's sort of implying, okay, maybe the emperor went too far, or maybe he maybe actually intended for these guys to be this. I wouldn't say corrupt is probably not the right word, but maybe barbaric or he obviously needed some soldiers to do this kind of terror inducing work, but at the same time it's against kind of our sensibilities of morality.
Evil Navy SEALs, like what do they do? You know, like they go in and make people scared.
Yeah,
but I feel like this is also like the Games Workshop wanted like a theming their different legions, and then like the fluff motivation to that is like flawed gene seed. You know, like it's maybe didn't intend them to be like so weird in all these different ways, but then Chaos was like in there with the little fingers and make everything a bit fucked up. You know.
Yeah, but this is before Chaos, right? It's like he planned this like way before.
Yeah, but so what the fluff is, right, is that he like creates the Primarchs. And then, like, as he creates them, like, the Chaos Gods reach out from the warp and cast them to the four corners of the earth.
Yeah.
And also, like, this is the part which I'm not sure if this is still canon or whatever, but is that the Chaos... One of the reasons why there's flaws in a lot of the gene seeds is because Chaos makes the, like, you know, kind of fucks it up.
Okay.
Maybe it's, like, I don't know if it's also, like, the imperfect Emperor experiments, whatever, right? But, like, it's also the fact, like, why is it that... You know, like the world eaters are like so fucked up. Like part of it is because Chaos like put the little tendrils in there to make them a bit like this. You know.
You say this, but the first recruits of the 8th Legion, they literally took from the prisons of Terra, as you said.
Exactly. The mommy criminals, daddy criminals.
It's like,
but this is the thing, right? It's not the prisoners, but it's like the offspring of the prisoners.
Wait, but that's from Nostromo.
No. That was in the also like that was the thing I
but this is exactly what you're right. But this is from Nostromo. So the first initial recruits, the initial recruits were from Terra.
Yeah, but this is the thing that like it's from Terra, but it's like from the prison areas of Terra. It's like these children of the night that are the offspring of the criminals.
The way that I read it is that the children of the night are the ones from Nostromo.
No, so that how
maybe
they
I'm wrong.
is how they wrote, because they have to be children, right? They can't be grown-ups to become Space Marines. So like that was the thing, because I also thought, I also didn't remember this, or I hadn't read it before, but they were saying that like also in Terra they've taught like in these like criminal,
maybe also in Terra,
these criminal whatever slums, they like these children are born that never see the light, you know, and they have this like super like sickly skin and whatever, and they can see in the night and all this kind of bullshit, and they're for some reason the Emperor took these guys to be these legionary, or like the first part of the 8th Legion. So they're already this like kind of fucked up whatever criminal, like they've lived their entire life in darkness.
I mean, this is already an issue, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the Emperor's children is like you take from the children of the nobility.
Yeah.
So obviously, they're going to be like. I mean, obviously, it didn't work out well.
Obviously, they're gonna be fucked up.
Like, on a basic level, they're going to be okay.
It turns out the noble people really are depraved, you know? like, well, I don't know, this seems like it fits with reality.
They might want the sexy stuff. But like, if you're going to take the children from the prisoners, like, there's going to be a small...
Yeah, there's going to be some niggles.
Yeah, some small problems there. So, I mean, it talks about, like... You have to, they get these pale skin because they don't see the light of day, because they're literally born, like, underground.
Yeah.
And then...
They give us, like, fucking sick night vision, bro. But the problem is, you can't look at the sun.
But I'm also like, how long would this take to actually, like, evolve genetically?
Yeah.
Like, how many generations do you actually need?
It doesn't fit with reality.
Underground.
Yeah.
Like, how many, like, times do you have to have, like, kids with no sunlight to actually get like really pale skin?
Yeah, I would imagine that it takes a while.
Yeah, but I also think it's kind of a nod towards like vampires, like having like pale skin and
it's also it's fancy, right? Like it's,
But also this doesn't reflect reality, because there's no black people in prison.
No, of course not. Oh, wait a second. Well, maybe. All the children are albino, you know? So you don't know if they're black or white before.
But in reality, the majority of people in prison are black. So you would expect that the
Next question.
So you would expect like at least like some of the kids are going to have like darker
So what
skin.
you're saying actually is that the real prisoners' legion is salamanders.
I mean, all I'm saying is this just doesn't seem accurate to real life.
Exactly. I don't care about the evolution thing. Like, that's fine. But, however...
Let's leave it at that.
However...
Yeah, so... And it also alludes that, like, the gene seed was intended to sort of augment, like, the nature of these people who were born underground.
Yeah, exactly.
So they can see in the dark. And actually they can see in the dark so well that they're sort of adverse to sunlight. So because they're so good at seeing in the dark, like when they go to these worlds that are like really bright, they have to wear sunglasses. Because otherwise the light is too bright for their eyes.
The hipster emo shit, bro. You turn off the light.
The sun is so bright, man. They have to wear like sunglasses all the time. But again, it's kind of like alluding to like the vampires again.
Yeah.
It's the kind of that's the thing.
I guess like the part here where it does connect well, I think, is like, well, they're all about like fucking punishment and stuff, and how they connected it was like, these people who grew up in the like prison things are like very obsessed with like who does right and who does wrong.
Yeah.
And like punishing the people who are bad.
Exactly. And
bad.
And so whenever
Born in the darkness.
So whenever crimes need punishing within the Imperium, the Emperor sends the 8th Legion, and what they develop is like this moral absolutism, where it's like there's no like grey area. It's like you either
you're right
against the Empire or you're doing like correct.
Exactly. And I decide. No trial, no judges. I decide.
Exactly. And I thought there was like one like little paragraph that I wanted to read out, because I thought it was quite nice.
Oh, that one.
Clearing my throat.
Yeah, sure.
It says, those who dwelt in the dark knew only the language of blood. And I thought that's quite cool. Like, you know, they're living in the dark, and they only know like that. What they know is just like how to fight and kill people.
Kill.
Yeah, exactly. And they sort of bring light to the darkness, which is this kind of oxymoron of they're from the dark, but they bring light to the dark.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a bit strange that he's using like people who have committed crimes.
Yeah, so
to sort of enact justice.
Only a criminal can know a criminal really well, though. Have you ever thought about that?
I mean, doesn't seem like a great plan to me.
Maybe we should have criminals to be our judges. That'd be great.
Doesn't seem like a great plan to me. It's like these people are proven to have
bad moral judgment.
They've clearly committed crimes, or at least their parents have committed crimes. So they're in like the darkest prisons of all time.
Yeah,
but
it's like, how about we raise a child in the environment of everything being shit, and then we say you can decide what's good and what's bad.
Yeah,
that seems
doesn't seem like a great idea.
Yeah. It seems like this emperor guy. Maybe he's not the best. Maybe we should replace him with somebody who's more worthy. You know.
Yeah. Anyway, so going back to sort of Conrad and Nostromo, which is the planet where the Night Lord's from. So. But it's also a bit weird. These primates like conveniently like end up on planets where,
bro, it's the intention of the Chaos Gods.
Their personalities like so well. It's like, yeah, okay, Conrad is this like dark and brooding guy. He's like, Nostromo, like this night world where there's no sunlight.
It is fucking dark and broody, bro. No, but it's the intention of the Chaos Gods. Like, it all makes sense when you go like, there's a benevolent force who's guiding the galaxy towards salvation.
But this is chaos.
Benevolent force guiding towards salvation.
But surely chaos.
What part
chaos
do you not understand?
Okay, like Gilliman is going to like the happy world. With like the unicorns and rainbows.
I also love that they're like, oh, he's the best boy. Like,
yeah, but like, why wouldn't they just send him to like the fucking arse end of nowhere?
Yeah, why wouldn't he go to Nostromo? Probably he would make it a good place. That's the problem.
Yeah,
and you're like, no, don't do
that. Why don't you send Conrad to like the Happy Land and Guilliman to like the Nostromo?
Yeah,
and
that would be better. But
anyway.
maybe it's not just our genetics. Maybe it's our upbringing that makes us who we are. You know, that's what they thought about.
Anyway, so talking about like Nostromo, like something that I don't quite understand is like, okay, how do they? If there's no sun,
where do you get the vitamin D?
Fish. Well, it's more like where do you get the food from?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, especially like it makes sense in like the context of like the Imperium because you'd import it.
Yeah, but as like a
but yeah
base level.
Shit, maybe do mushrooms need sunlight? I guess they do in some sense because they feed off of stuff that needs sunlight.
Yeah, like you need some kind of sustenance to get agriculture. You need some kind of sustenance to develop industry.
Yeah.
But it could be that it was like colonized.
Yeah,
like,
so
right?
I think what they said in the fluff, right, was like that this is like a mining planet and they like delved into the ground and then they released all the toxins and fucking global warming the planet into whatever like toxic waste which blotted out the sun.
Yeah, the planet is really rich with adamantine ore.
Yeah, I think they used that for the Space Marine armor
as well. So I guess it's maybe a colony planet. So they found the planet.
Maybe there's other planets, but still, like again, it makes sense in the concept of Imperium. But like before it gets integrated in Imperium, like where did it? Yeah, maybe there's some like happy planet next to Nostromo that grows all the food.
Yeah,
and then they send the food.
They go over the.
Dude, that is way better because then the real nobility is living on the happy planet, and they're like, oh yeah, let's give it to the fake nobility. Like you guys over there, just mine, be criminals. I don't give a shit. Like. Just send me the Ammertime, okay.
Yeah. So the planet itself is like just basically a mining planet.
Yeah, they say it's like hollowed out, basically.
Yeah. But the cities are kind of have these like big tall smokestacks and it's all chemical waste and it's all like these dark alleyways and it's
tunnels and shit. Like,
I guess it's
like there's no sun. Like even the sun is just like.
If you think like Coruscant. But instead of like a governing planet, it's like mining.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's basically like a factory world, I guess, just for mining stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like smog and smoke and all the chemicals and all the people are like pale and thin.
Yeah, if you did you watch the last Alien movie? Fuck, what's it called? Not Romulus, but the one afterwards. Forgot what it's called now. But it starts on a planet like this.
Okay.
It's and they try to escape like a mining planet basically.
Okay.
So I can imagine it has like a similar aesthetic.
Yeah. So I'm sort of expecting like a very like dark and like world where there's like if you're at the right at the bottom, there's no sunlight. Well, I mean, there's no sunlight anyway. It's completely dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it seems to be like also like a very like lawless planet. Like it's sort of like controlled by gangs and whether they have this like apparently there's like a nobility as well.
Yeah, I mean, but like that's what they say. It's like there's gangs on every level of society. So it's like, well, there is a nobility, but
they're also a gang.
Yeah, it's like it's like one of those things, right? Where like a lot of things I've read about, like Nazi Germany is a good example where like there is like a hierarchical structure, but then like every level of the hierarchical structure is treated as if people are just gangs. Where it's like, well, like it doesn't matter so much about the hierarchy. What matters is who do you owe a favor to, and whatever. So it's like it looks like a hierarchy, but then in reality, it's more like a criminal enterprise.
Yeah, but I also feel like there must be such a good logistics department behind all of this because
you work in logistics. You're like, how did they deliver the fucking food?
Well, yeah, but like, okay, you're the emperor, and you have this like adamantine mine over in the fucking arse end of nowhere. And it's a shit ass place.
Yeah.
But you rely on this like adamantine ore coming to your mechanicum, whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. And then there's these gangs all the time. You like as long as like the ore keeps flowing.
Yeah.
You don't care.
Totally. Good times.
So.
Yeah, but how like
so
organizing the transport, organizing the mining, making sure the delivery's on time.
Yeah. Like someone has to be like behind this in some respect. Like the gangs. If the gangs were at war with each other all the time, like
this is like the same thing as
someone sat in an office pressing buttons, and they have to make sure that
the gang accountant. Yeah, let's go.
Like someone has to be sending these shipments on fucking time.
Logistic officers.
Yes,
let's go.
Exactly.
Yeah, like this is the same problem as fucking Dark Elves with like the murder of the murder cult and the murder in fantasy. You're like, what's going on?
Exactly right. So the economy of the planet has to be running in some way.
It's a gang economy of scale. Like, what's you have enough gangs.
They have an office somewhere, and there's like a new gang like comes in. And is like, now we're in charge. It's like, okay, like,
sure. Yeah, whatever. Like,
okay,
you'll be out of here by Tuesday.
Like, just tell me the bank details. We'd make the transfer to you instead today. Yeah. So I mean, like these gangs rule Nostromo, right?
Yeah.
And whether it's the nobility or the gangs, like these guys are like in charge.
Yeah.
And they're making the decisions, and so long as I guess the logistics is flowing.
Exactly.
It's fine.
The spice flows. Nobody cares.
And there's sort of a like in the background that it's stated, they discuss like eating the dead a bit a few times. And to me, this would have actually been like a better way of like leaning into like the vampire sort of.
I feel idea. Like they mainly talk about it like with Conrad himself.
Yeah.
Like that he because he gets like obviously dropped there as a child because he gets flown there by like chaos or whatever, and then he's like, how does he survive? Well, he just like kind of eats rats at the dead.
But I'm also like, how does everyone else survive?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. But I think presumably they import food. I would say. Presumably they sell whatever they produce.
But again, the logistics have to be really good.
Yeah.
And if the gangs are just fighting each other all the time, it just makes sense.
If the gangs are all called Murder, Talon, Blood Destructors, like it's
and they are.
It's like, if you grow food in Happy Go Lucky Planet next door, do you want to sell that food to her Murder, Talon?
Like, the Murder, Talon Destructor guys?
Yeah, you're like, maybe I don't need that at one time. Maybe it's not so important. I don't know, like, I think you can build a pretty good plow out of wood. Like, I mean, like, not that good, but like good enough. Like.
Yeah, but if you don't have a sun, then
problems. Yeah, there must be some type of mushroom, right? Like that you grow.
But even mushrooms, fuck, I don't know enough about mushrooms.
So anyway, what I was thinking is that like it makes more sense that okay, they colonize the planet.
Yeah.
And then like the main like source of food is that they eat the dead, and they all fight each other because it's Nostromo and it's all these like kind of gangs and stuff, and then basically all the people that are getting killed all the time are like the food. And then it would make more sense that they're kind of like night hunters or whatever, and they
like
vampire
people kind of.
Yeah, and like they need more people to do the mines, and then some of these people get killed and blah blah blah. So to me that would make more sense, but they didn't really lean in that way. Sure. But they could have done. That would have been kind of cool. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so we don't know how they get fed, but they do get fed because anyway. It says that each of the gangs kind of treat each of their territory as like hunting grounds, and again, like it said at the start that the people of Nostromo were like kind of pale and frail and skinny, but then the gang people are like slab muscled.
Yeah. That like, I reacted to as well. Like, where are you getting your protein?
Like like how many people are you eating?
Yeah. It's a lot. There's a lot of.
And they obviously go to the gym as well. So
exactly. Yeah. Exactly. There's good logistics and good membership deals. Like
and the nobility are wearing fancy clothes.
Yeah.
So they also have some kind of tailor as well.
Yeah.
So there are some inconsistencies with this background.
Emo tailoring, like that's for sure. Can a silkworm like poop out silk without sunlight? That's the next question.
Exactly.
Again, I don't know enough about silkworms. Like.
Yeah. So I think I need more beer.
Yeah.
Do you need more beer?
I'm also done.
Quick break, and we come back and we continue. You're waiting for the start.
Yes, of course. Cheers, boys.
Cheers. Whew. This has been quite a big session, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean it's good to start strong.
Yeah,
it's always good. Like when I was in Dubai, I made it the opposite way around. Where I started slow and then I finished strong, and then I had to go home super hungover. And that
start strong.
Yeah, start strong. Go to the wedding hungover. That's the key.
Wedding hangover is better than like
travel
hangover.
Yeah, because then you can start drinking quite fast.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I'm
not going to be.
This is not a topic for the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. But it's an important topic nonetheless. Yes. Okay, where were we? Cheers.
Cheers. We were about to talk about Conrad. So Conrad
commented over.
Commented over. So basically, what my notes were, he gets PTSD as a baby.
Yeah, I love the fact that it's like when he's a toddler, he's still like fast and strong enough to like kill anything that gets close to him.
Yeah.
I'm just mad, like, what the fuck is that? Like, it sounds like one of those funny movies with like Boss Baby or whatever, but this is like Murder Baby. So it's like an adult is like, and he's like,
I have like a 6-month-old child.
Yeah.
And I'm just imagining her like strong enough to like break my arms. It's like, where's my food?
With the happy smile at the same time.
But like obviously he's a Primarch, right? So
he's like, I would assume a Primarch baby, you're not gonna like approach a Primarch baby and go like, oh, this is a child. That child is gonna be like 3 feet like big.
And so in my head canon, right, that in this Nostromo planet, there's no food. So people are eating each other to survive.
Yeah.
So they just see this baby in the corner and they're like,
yeah, that's a good meal.
That's a snack.
He's 3 feet
That's
baby.
a snack.
That's like a good
That's
meal.
an easy snack.
It's like a roast steak.
You just let this baby like... And they're like, oh, that's easy snack. And they go over and he just breaks her arms.
Yeah, and then eats them.
Eats them themselves, yeah.
Yeah, and here they didn't talk about this specifically, but one thing I'm not sure if you remember, but like Space Marines have the ability to gain the memories of people that they eat.
Yeah, it mentions that actually.
Yeah. But like, no, I think for normal Space Marines, it's specifically when they eat the brains. I'm not sure if it's on just the brains or
is that for all Space Marines?
Yeah, all Space Marines have the ability to gain the memories of people that they eat, which is like they don't push it so much in the new fluff.
Okay.
But this is like one of those like old they spit acid and they gain some level of memory from eating the flesh of
okay, and that's old fluff.
Yeah, I think it's technically still canon, but they don't talk about it as often. But like it used to be a thing. So I think this is also why does he gain like so how he learns shit is from all the dudes he kills. Yeah. So like a cannibal comes over and goes like, this baby looks fucking tasty, bro, and he eats it, and the baby's like, oh, maybe babies are tasty.
Okay, so he's killing like random people in the back alleys of Nostromo, who they're trying to prey on him, but he's actually like preying on them.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know. It's not like I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
And it literally says, for some reason, he decides not to go down a dark path, but be a vigilante.
Exactly. But it's the Emperor's. Maybe it's the Emperor's light shining through. Something like that.
Sure.
It says, right?
Sure.
Anyway. Cool, dude.
Yeah. So he becomes this kind of like night haunter, or just haunter, because it's a night world.
Yeah.
So
it's always night.
So he's just like haunting the night.
Yeah.
And the gangs, because he's like basically preying on all the gang members.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, these guys are killing people, so I'm just gonna eat them.
Yeah.
So then the gangs kind of start like hunting him.
Yeah.
Which makes it easier for him to actually like kill the people who are doing the problems.
Yeah, I also like the idea that like the reason he can be a fair judge, quote unquote, around fair, is because he's eating everybody, and then he learns who is doing the crimes, you know. So it's like he eats like the lowest gang member, and then he's like, shit. Okay, so wait, the real gang leader is this guy. That's the guy I need to eat, you know. And then he eats that guy, and he's like, no, the real gang member is the nobility.
I actually probably eat a few of these as well.
So at least have a little taste, you know.
Yeah, and he's also like every time he kills people, he's like mutilating them and like flaying them and like leaving their skin somewhere as like a trophy, but he allows like a few of these people who are like hunting him to like escape and tell the story. And it kind of, to me, this is like, even as a toddler, he knows like terror tactics.
Yeah.
He's like 4 years old or something. He's just like pulling people's arms off and like like just destroying like
Seems
companies.
well adjusted, you know.
Yeah. And basically everyone on the planet was like bad. So eventually like the whole world just lives in fear of him because everyone is part of a gang.
But I also thought about this. Back to logistics. Like in one city, I could kind of accept this, but it's a whole planet.
But it's a planet-wide city, is
yeah, but dude, like, how he must be at work so like it's what
he's hungry, man. He's hungry.
In 24 hours, how much square kilometer area can you cover in terms of killing gang members?
He's a Primarch.
Yeah, but imagine how fast. Like, imagine, you know how big the Earth is, right? How long does it take to walk from one city to the next? Like, this guy's he's fast. Like he's very efficient.
He's like Santa Claus.
Yeah, yes. He's Santa Claus of crime. Like, what the fuck?
So reindeer's like driving him around.
Eating the next guy. Okay, to the next
place. Yeah, but in all this time, they're still transporting the adamantium ore off planet. Because if they don't, the Emperor's gonna fuck them up.
He kills the gang member, and then the second gang command gang guy is and he's like, ore deliveries on time. It's like, why do you know about ore deliveries? You're 4 years old.
But essentially, what happens is because he's like killing so many people. Like everyone is basically so afraid of him that he can basically just like walk into whatever political center there is and be like, I'm the one who is doing all the killing. If you don't listen to me, I'm gonna kill everyone else.
Yeah, so
they're like, okay, you can.
Fair enough.
You're the leader.
Yeah.
Job done. And so that's how he kind of takes over the planet, basically.
Yeah.
And like something about Conrad is that we have to mention is that he's like a precog.
Yeah.
And he gets these like visions of the future. And they're like he sees his own death. He sees like the death and horror in the future.
Yeah.
He gets these like crazy mad dreams. So he's completely unhinged.
Yeah, like he sees the future, but he always sees bad futures, right? Maybe because the future is bad, but also like his like gift of prophecy doesn't show him anything positive.
Yeah, I mean, you add this on top of his like clear like PTSD as like a toddler. Like, he's like he's like lived in this like rabbit warren of like death, and he's had to eat people, and basically just makes him completely fucked. But I feel like these visions this is probably how like chaos kind of gets into Conrad.
Yeah, sure.
It's like he's not like Horus is kind of corrupted because he got stabbed by a chaos blade.
Yeah, we can talk about this.
That's like another story.
I hate that story, but yes.
Yeah, I kind of agree, but there's like all of the Primates kind of get corrupted in some way.
Yeah, sure. Like,
but I feel like Conrad is maybe
Fulgrim because he loves art.
Yeah.
He's really gay. Like he's just like, oh, it's a beautiful painting, and the painting's like, whoa.
Yeah. Anyway, but I feel like Conrad is maybe he's one of the powers that he was baked into.
Yeah.
Was that he's a precog, but somehow chaos can kind of get on the wavelength and show him
exactly
instead of showing him like the interesting stuff.
Yeah,
that he should.
Bad stuff,
it's only the bad stuff, and they just completely like feed him the bad stuff all the time.
Yeah, and I feel like this is actually like a good part of the fluff, and also that makes a lot of sense. It's like not that chaos just like decides for you what it's like, but you make like a slight alteration to something you already have to make it like fuck you up somewhat. So you know?
Yeah, exactly, and apparently. Like one of the traditions of Nostromo is that they have this tradition of cartomancy, which is like tarot cards that they like put these tarot cards down and predict the future. Yeah. And Conrad's obsessed with this apparently.
Yeah, this is like a passing thing, right? Like he just constantly
he's constantly like playing cards all the time, like, oh, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
100% emo hipster.
Yeah, I think it's quite cool like image.
Yeah, sure.
To have of this like brooding Primarch where he's like the most powerful being, but he's still like playing cards in the background like to himself. He's like playing with himself.
Yeah,
very sad. But yeah, it's kind of funny as well.
For sure.
So in this story, the Emperor Conrad is like the Dark King or whatever of the planet because everyone's just afraid of him. And if they don't do what he says, he just kills them.
Yeah.
So he's now in control of all the shipments of adamantine, whatever it's
very
called.
Important, delivered on time.
Yeah.
This is the Nostromo guarantee.
Yeah. Maybe it's more like a case of if they don't deliver on time, they don't get the food, and then they get fucked.
True.
So everyone's interest is like, okay, we
have two interests. Number one, killing
Number
people.
Two,
delivering
the adamantium on time, so we get the food.
And I'm gonna fucking kill you if you don't keep the second one.
I need my guys jacked.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they don't get the food,
I need the protein powder delivery on time.
So the Emperor arrives, and because Conrad is a precog, he just accepts it, and he knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, and this is so I've listened to a couple of audiobooks about Conrad, which are quite good, you know, like Black Library stuff. Sure. And like this, like they talk about this in the books that like this is one of the specific things he's already seen, and he kind of like tricks the Emperor in a way because he's like a lot of the Primarchs like anger or whatever are like really difficult for the Emperor to like bring to heel or whatever, and Conrad you would expect is similar because of all the like crime shit or whatever.
Yeah.
But he just like he's plays the perfect part. Like because he already have seen the Emperor arriving and everything in his dreams. You know?
Okay, so what happens when the Emperor arrives?
Yeah, but so he's like kind of the like maybe not perfect is the wrong word, but like he's like you know he fits the mold of the son he's supposed to be.
Okay, so he's just
which is maybe one of the reasons why Nostromo the Emperor doesn't like fix Nostromo in any way. He just like kind of leaves it a bit like how it is because Conrad is like such a fits the mold of what
he just says. Oh, okay, yeah.
It's like you know, like he I said I agree, and like you know I believe in your vision and whatever, and I want to like help you bring this to life, or you know whatever, right? Like whatever he needs to say, You go in a meeting with your boss, and you're just like,
okay,
your boss is like, yes, we have to
yes.
bring these targets to this way, and you're like, yeah, sure, you're really smart, like, let me get your dick out, like, let's. I want to keep.
We have different meetings.
I don't know. Yeah, you need to try working in Germany.
My boss is a woman, so.
You have a really good.
I don't have to suck dick.
Your sucking is a completely different variety.
Yeah. So when the Emperor arrives, Conrad takes on the 8th Legion, and a lot of the traditions from Nostromo get transferred to the Legion. So like specifically, one of the things that's transferred is like the displaying of trophies, and that's like a Nostraman tradition that they display like the dead trophies of someone who they've killed.
Yeah.
As on their armor, in this respect.
Yeah, it's better.
So like they flay people and they put it like the skin on their armor, or they put like the skulls or something, and this adds to the aesthetic of this like it gets like vampire-y Legion.
So one thing I want to talk about is that it says like, Nostramon becomes like the main language of the Legion, and I'm like, what kind of language courses do they give to like?
Right, boys, integration.
I'm like, I mean, like you and I, we both like tried to learn a lot of languages, and it's not easy to become fluent in a different language. You know?
But if you're a space marine, you're like super smart.
Oh yeah, maybe. Maybe
So
you're
you-
super jacked and super smart,
takes
and
you, like,
you
5
have
minutes.
no penis, so there's no distraction from learning. Like,
You're not like trying to bang the hot chick in your language class.
you're just autistically focused on learning.
Like you go training, and then you walk back to your like cell.
Yeah, which has no adornments.
No adornments.
Other than the language book.
And then you just have like the language book like read.
And then you sleep for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And done. Like,
You have like your protein injection or whatever it is.
perfect. Beautiful.
If you're in the Strama, you go and like chow on like a baby.
Yes, I think. No.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they just eat the babies that know Nostramon, and then they get Nostramon.
Yeah, that's it, right? They just eat the people.
Yeah.
And then they get to learn the language.
Easy. Maybe
Easy.
In
You
this
don't even need language courses.
Yeah, exactly. This legion would make sense, but imagine all the other legions when they found the homeworlds. They had
Just
to change the
confusing.
language. Yeah. It's like, do they also eat the babies, or do they have language? But maybe they also eat the babies. So it's easier. Like.
Okay. I'm confused. Anyway, so like as we talked about, like the main thing about the 8th Legion is that they have this drive to punish people for like wrongs against the Imperium. And eventually, like in the Legion, it becomes like from Terror. The people who are from this Legion are basically the criminals from the underworld, and Nostromo is basically like a whole planet of criminals.
Yeah, it's just however that works.
Yeah. So however that works is like you have this like whole legion of criminals.
Yeah.
Basically. And they have this drive to punish people for crimes. I don't know how this works, but
The punishment is clearly not working, right?
yeah. So over time, Conrad becomes like more unhinged, and I think this is like, as we alluded to, it's like probably the chaos kind of gets into his like judgment, and he becomes more crazy and more, basically he's like completely mad.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you get one thing that's key is they also say like as soon as he because like how the stories usually go in the Horus Heresy books, right? It's like the Emperor comes to collect his son, and the first thing he does is he just scoops him up and leaves the planet, you know, and he puts some governors in or whatever, you know, and like they basically says that as soon as they remove Conrad, all the gangs are like, oh, the Night Torture is gone, fuck yeah. And then they just go back to doing whatever the fuck they used to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, and that's like a big problem, and why the Legion gets like corrupted, because like basically then they, instead of sending
the main recruitment world.
Yeah, exactly, because that's how all the Space Marine Legions work. They recruit from the home world most of all, instead of sending like the best and brightest young boys, they instead go like, let's just like send some random bullshit, like some criminals, some bullshit, like the people don't give a shit about, like, and they're the ones who
all the orphans. Off you go.
Exactly.
Yeah, none of the good ones, and yes, and when he goes off with the Emperor, there's like some altercation with Rogaldorn.
Yeah, this is also covered in one of these like audiobooks.
My notes were, this seems important, but it was brushed over.
Yeah, because and it's been a really long time since I listened to this. Like, it's an audio drama, so it's one of those like back library ones, which is not like a full book, but it's like a free 4-hour audio drama thing.
Yeah.
Because like it says something like so the one Primarch that Conrad trusts is Fulgrim, so he confides in him. And Fulgrim gets worried, and then he talks to Rogaldorn, and there's like a confrontation between Rogaldorn and Conrad, and this is covered in one of these audio dramas, basically.
Okay.
So basically, like when Rogaldorn tries to like talk to Conrad about like this like prophecy thing and the fact that he's becoming more and more fucked, he like just like snaps, and they have like a big fight and almost die, both of them, basically. That's my memory of it, but I listened to this 10 years ago, so
Okay.
Yeah.
But basically that happens. I don't know if it's actually that relevant because it doesn't really change.
Kind of like it's in this audio drama also talks about like how Conrad eventually dies and stuff like that. So it like kind of ties into that. But essentially he just like kind of goes insane. That's the short.
So Conrad is slowly going insane, and as Casimir said, the home world basically is becoming more corrupt because now the Night Haunter is not there.
Yeah.
The old ways come back in.
Yeah.
And it becomes this like complete like barbaric. Like, and probably the Adamantine ship didn't just stop.
Yeah, and that's the real problem.
That's the real problem.
You're not delivering on your KPIs, and therefore exterminatus.
And exactly, and that's exactly what happens. Yeah. Conrad's moral autism kicks in. He's like, this is a planet that is no longer relevant for the Empire because they're bad.
Yeah.
And I have to punish them.
By
destruction. So Conrad destroyed the planet.
Yeah, and that's also like really funny. They covered in these like audiobooks that he, like everybody in the Legion, like how I remember it being covered in the books about this. It's like everybody in the Legion knows that Nostradamus fucked, like and it's like Crime City. Except Conrad, because he's a bit like, whoa, but I'm the Night Haunter, and everybody is staying in line because I'm Batman, you know. and then he finally finds out that they're doing crimes on Nostromo, and he's like, the only solution is killing everybody. This is the only solution.
Completely destroying.
Yeah, and then he just goes back and he's like, just kills it.
It doesn't quite say if they completely like explode the planet or
it's like literally what they do. They change like complete like I don't remember if they do like virus bombs or whatever, but it's, everything is dead.
Yeah,
like just completely destroyed.
Okay, but what I was alluding to is like, did they kill like the mines or did they just like explode the planet?
Yeah, that I don't remember, but it's like it destroyed to the point where it's uninhabitable or like it doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. So I assume actually it's just like, you know,
it's like the Death Star.
Yeah, Death Star planet.
Okay, so meanwhile, the Legion, the 8th Legion, the Night Lords, are sort of slowly descending into like a complete like atrocity. What they're doing. Obviously, this like the leadership of Conrad is not like the best.
Could be better
because he's got PTSD.
Yeah.
He's insane. He's getting visions from chaos. He's killing his home world.
He's eating babies.
Yeah.
It's not the best.
So he's not setting the best example. So like the Legion is slowly descending into chaos.
Yeah.
Because essentially they're all criminals anyway.
Yeah.
And so they're skinning people. They're crucifying people.
Yeah. Like they talk about like the raptors, like kind of. Like gripping like the remains of the kills and just like making bloody showers over the enemies and shrieking.
Exactly.
And stuff.
It says that they crucify whole cities.
Yeah. That's a lot of
pretty dark.
Where do they get all the wood for the crucifixes?
Maybe it's not wood. Maybe it's something else.
Yeah, true. Nobody respects the art of a good crucifixion anymore.
Yeah, so I mean, to start with, like the quality of the people in this Legion is not the best, and they basically spiral into darkness. And I think like an interesting thing in general with 40k is that just the Emperor just fails to do anything about it.
Yeah.
He's like the fucking worst father in history.
Yeah.
So his child, like he's got 20 children, but one of them is like fucking insane.
Yes,
and he's like just nothing about it.
This to me, I feel like this is one
He's
of
like
the
most irresponsible parents.
Yeah, like not to go on too much of a tangent, but this I feel like one of the weaknesses of the 40k lore is like, obviously you need these legions to like fuck up in different ways, but it kind of doesn't really make sense when you put the Emperor as this like omnipotent super being, and then just going like, yeah, but also he's kind of a retard. Like also he's just like
highly autistic.
Yeah, it's like he's so autistic that he like doesn't understand that it's like super simple mistake in what he's doing. Like obviously this is maybe not the perfect example of this, but there's several times where it's like he could have just made a very simple decision and everything would have been way better. And
he could have just invented the internet.
And he just like does it the wrong way, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like this is a little bit in this direction where when it's like, oh, maybe if he just like stepped in a little bit, you know, and just go like, okay,
something,
settle down, like,
just maybe, maybe we're just gonna remove you and
exactly,
put you in a cage.
How about we don't like recruit criminals? Like, how we just like recruit normal people? What about that?
Yeah, exactly. So this is kind of stupid, but anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, I also understand that maybe he wanted like a legion to use for like these terror kind of wars in the cases that he needs it. Like, there is a time and a place that you need, like, let's say, like fear. Sure. You need to generate fear for people to subjugate people. Or I would guess there's probably planets that require this kind of treatment, but at the same time, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Yeah. I mean, my notes were here was like how they kind of fall to chaos isn't explained, but I kind of guess it's more to do with the Primarch than
they're one of those legions where it's supposed to be a bit like unclear if they actually worship chaos or not. And there's several really good Knights Lords themed like novels from Black Library, which are set then in 41st millennium. Which where it's like the characters you're following are not actually like chaos worshippers. Like some of them are, but most of them are more like they just fucking hate the Imperium, you know.
Yeah.
And that's like I feel like this is like a cool theme for a Legion. It's like I've always thought it was really cool if the Chaos Space Marines are just like, it's not about like, oh, I'm like worshipping this like deranged demonic entity or whatever. I'm like I'm ideologically committed to thinking that the Emperor is a shitty person. And I just think Horus should have been the Emperor. You know, like that's the whole motivation. You know, and I always I enjoyed that a lot, and I feel like this is a bit like that as well, where obviously doing all the like skinning people and shit is gonna like bring you closer to chaos or whatever, but like in the basic motivation, it's not that they're chaos worshippers, it's just that they're fucked up.
Yeah, they're just mentally crazy.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the end of the background side of things.
Yeah.
But it talks a little bit about the Legion itself and like what their characteristics are. And so just to go into that, it says it's like structured like the gangs of Nostromo and the courts of Nostromo. So they have this kind of hierarchy in some way that's a bit more around like power rather than rank.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and connection. It seems like if you're in like the inner circle around Conrad, then it doesn't matter what your actual rank is in the Legion. You're still like deciding over other people. And
exactly. And it says they have this like grotesque craftsmanship of weapons, and my notes here were that like it seems that every Legion has like enhanced weapons.
Exactly. What does that mean?
Yeah, it's just like, okay, like
if everybody's special, nobody's special.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I thought, and they have as I mentioned before, they have these like adorned armor with trophies of mutilated and brutalized remains and like these people that they've killed, and they just like kind of put their wear their skin on the armor, and that's like a Nostromo tradition.
Yeah,
and I quite like this kind of a like kind of call back to like the planet where Conrad's from. It makes actually makes sense to me in some way that obviously like when we come from fantasy, we know like vampire counts or whatever, they have like they can display trophies on their armor and skulls and skins and things like that. It makes sense that it might allude from this like gang tradition from Nostromo that they put these trophies.
Yeah, sure.
They display these trophies as part of their tradition. I quite like that. Like, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And it also says that they have this like art of flaying people, and it's like one of the like Nostromo traditions that's that come through in the Night Lord's Legion, that they flay their enemies, and it's like an art of like kind of
exactly how to do it properly,
yeah,
kind of thing, and when they're still alive and whatever.
Yeah, and using it as like a way to sow terror.
Yeah.
The next thing is that they mentioned the Night Raptors, which is this unit that's now in Kill Team, and they're this kind of jump pack troops, and as Casimir said, they trail these remains of people.
Yeah, like make a little blood rain, like, over stuff.
It also says that they have these like enhanced like vox casters that they shriek.
Yeah.
As they like.
So this is like a thing also has been reoccurring in the Chaos Space Marine like rules, that you can like buy vox casters for your vehicles and stuff that like reduce other people's like morale tests and stuff, because it's just like screaming.
The screaming is there.
Yeah, exactly.
Flying over.
Yeah, or you have it on your rhinos.
Like peeing on people, like screaming. Like pooping on people.
Yeah,
as they
just
fly over.
excrement falling from the sky. Like, oh, no.
Someone's screaming and shitting on me.
Yeah, exactly. Like you genetically enhanced shit. No. It's like boom, boom, boom.
And another thing is that they have this like flexible approach to squads. So they.
I thought this was quite.
I thought this was quite interesting as well. Like they don't have like a regimented structure, but I guess it's all again because it's kind of from this like gang structure and this court structure. It resembles a bit more of like a medieval court than it does like a army with different ranks. It's like this guy's in favor right now, so he's more powerful, and then tomorrow it's maybe this guy, and no one is like adhering to everyone. It's kind of like this guy has a few people under him, and this guy has
every
more
day
people.
is like a new day, so to say.
Yeah. Which I think is interesting, actually.
Yeah, and it also said that it's like this like flexible structure like allows them to adapt to different situations and stuff in war, and like this I can actually like that I can kind of see,
how it would be beneficial.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Some other like elements about the Legion, like they continue to recruit from subjugated worlds, and they use psychic conditioning and accelerated gene seed implantation to improve recruitment speed. Yeah,
so I guess like just speeding up the Space Marine transformation. I guess.
Yeah, so I guess this is more like a KLC kind of thing.
Well, I think that's, well, maybe it's not like standard protocol, but I don't think it's like supernatural. But maybe it's like that you're skipping a few steps than when you're making a Space Marine. Like you're kind of like, let's just do it the fast way, and then you get like imperfect.
Yeah, but that's probably fine for that.
Yeah, you're like, whatever, bro.
Yeah, but I guess when you don't have like a recruiting world, itself, like Ultramarines always have 500 worlds, as we said. But Nostromo is destroyed or whatever, so they have to like kind of just take what they can get and get it as fast as possible because they take losses.
Yeah, exactly. But then they also say just like, but this leads them to believe that maybe they're as big as like the bigger legions because they're just like pumping out like.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not like it's a small legion at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last thing is like what I wrote was that the rest of the the background document is about all the different units.
Yeah. And
I think it's not that interesting, but I just wrote some notes about one of the units that I thought was interesting.
Sure.
And that's the Ancient Dreadnought. And so this guy is called Reeve the Heedless.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fluff behind him is that he was against like the Drukhari.
Okay.
And he got killed. But he was so like obstinate that he didn't want to die. But they completely like eviscerated him from his central nervous system, and he still survived. So his central nervous system was completely destroyed, but they just put it inside a dreadnought.
Yeah.
And so they go, now you're in a dreadnought. Which I thought was quite cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like a Drukhari fluff thing that they like. Oh, how do you like kind of rip somebody apart for like the maximum amount of pain without killing them? And stuff like that.
Exactly. So he like basically endured this complete pain, like getting his like central nervous system.
And then you're like, and the Night Lords are like, you seem like a really stable guy, and we want you to live forever. So here you go.
Exactly. So, this we can get behind.
But this is
like,
also
you're still alive? Okay, into the dreadnought you go. We just dump your like brain like.
But this is also like the thing that the fluff about like the Chaos Dreadnoughts or Hellbrutes, I think they're in 40k now, is like they like also in the Night Lord's book there's like a dreadnought in the book who has to like he has to be shamed in the ship when they're not like in combat, because otherwise he just goes insane and kills everything around him. And it's also like this. It's if I remember one of the codices correctly, it talks about how like a Chaos Space Marine is like somebody who's like is finally giving in to like the lusts of life. Like you have all this like monk like forced celibacy, without sexual connotation, but like in terms of all feeling and experience, whatever, when you're a Space Marine. And then you become a trader and you finally let go. You finally like get to have fun. Finally get to like experience everything, whatever. And then when you get killed and put in a dreadnought, that's like being put back into the prison of being this like Space Marine character by not being able to experience anymore, because you don't have your physical form, like you're a machine. So you can't actually experience bloodshed and feeling and whatever, whatever
so
it
it's
is.
much worse.
Exactly. So you're trapped in a living prison, and that basically makes
even more. You make you really angry.
Exactly, and that makes all the Chaos Space Marine dreadnoughts completely insane. And that's why they have to be like chained up or whatever, because they're like, let me die. Like,
That's quite cool. I think the dreadnoughts actually are some of the best lore.
Yeah, definitely, and to me, this like one of the mistakes they've done is like not focusing more on the dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
Now there's some new dreadnought models, right?
Do you have a dreadnought for your army?
No, because I can't take it in my detachment. But I think the second detachment I want to work on is the like demon engine detachment, and then you can take dreadnoughts or whatever.
Okay.
Because I want to fucking I want to buy the new Defiler, and have it in the army, so then I can't take it in my current detachment, so I need a different detachment.
So bringing it back to Night Lords. Mm-hmm. So do you think the Night Lords are something that you might add to your army?
Yeah, for sure. I always liked the Night Lords. Like I think the fluff is cool. Like it's cool in the same way as Dread Elves or Dark Elves are cool and fancy.
Yeah,
doesn't make sense, but it's cool.
Makes sense.
I've never been a fan of like the helmets, like with the bat wings, whatever.
Yeah.
But I always like this, like, oh, they're fucking putting the flayed bodies and all the vehicles and whatever, and it's all like based on terror.
What do you think about the new models? Because there's one with that actual like vampire wings, which I'm not really sure what I feel about.
Can we bring them up?
Yeah, we can bring them up.
Because I always liked this. I always liked raptors as well, which they're very much based on, right? Or like have in common. But let's see. I think there's one that's like a complete mutant, and I'm not sure if that one is like really my thing. Yeah, so like from the, let's say, the unique things, like this guy in the middle is this guy's character already exists.
I think there's like one of these is a Chaos Lord, but
that's the Chaos Lord.
Yeah,
okay. In the middle. But like, I mean, the posing is good. It's better than I used of the old models. Like, I'm not sure if I like the one with the wings with all the mutations.
Yeah.
Because he just kind of, I don't know.
It's a bit too vampire-y.
Yeah, it's like too much like a bat,
Yeah.
But he's also just of like optional assembly for the, like, if you play kill team, maybe you'd be like, oh, I want this guy because of he does XYZ. But when you play
4K.
4K
it's just like another guy.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe he has like a slightly different profile, but you know,
the jump pack is still the same.
Nobody cares. And this to me is also, that's another thing I like about 40K. It's like, they all have like different profiles, but like, this guy has like he has 4 strength 6 instead of 3 strength 7 or whatever. You're like, yeah, okay, who cares? Like,
yeah, but I like looking at these models. I quite like them.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure I would collect them.
I mean, the trim is
that puts me off.
It's the same. I feel like it's the same.
Red, like we talked about, the red Corsairs look like way more manageable.
Yeah, the red Corsairs, like exactly. Like these guys look. I mean, I love the aesthetic, but it's the same with all the Chaos Space Marine models. Like painting them is a pain. You know, it really is.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm like that's why. So like that's why the second attachment that I'm looking at, other than like playing mostly demons, is something like I played the demon engines instead, like dreadnoughts and stuff.
Trim.
Because then you're like, I'm painting like a big model that has big trim rather than like loads of models with lots of trim, you know. But I still think they're really cool. Like, and I would like to have like a unit, but I don't know if I would like to have more than one, you know.
Yeah. But like getting one unit's pretty fine,
exactly.
right? It's like jump at unit, probably fine.
Yeah,
with 5 guys.
It's fun to play with. Goes fast. Like
cool. So I think we'll stop there.
Yep.
At least for now. Maybe
we come back.
Maybe we'll come back. I think it's 2:00 in the morning now. We've been on the beers, so we have a little bit more segment. Perhaps over the weekend we have some games coming up.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. We'll come back. Perhaps if you want to get in touch with us, you can write to us on Discord. I'll put a link in the show notes. You can send me an email, ammertimedk@gmail.com.
Exactly, but you should really just send us a message on Discord.
Just join the Discord.
Yeah.
Join our mini community that we have going.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the show. So we're on some fancy recording software now. We're just testing something out for the last segment of this month's bonanza.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's see if it works. I think we struggled in the past a little bit with these remote recordings, so it'll be interesting to see if we manage this time.
Yeah. So Casimir was here this weekend, and then you've since left and gone back to Munich, and now we're just doing the last segment online.
Exactly. Should we also recap the little gaming weekend thing we had, or jump straight into it?
No, I think that's just that would be a short and sweet complaining.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, maybe we could say that we had like a little afterwards. We played against people who are way more experienced in the game than us, let's say. And I think what did you play? Like 3 rounds of Warhammer?
Yeah, I played 2 games in 3 turns.
Yeah,
It's like 2 games.
I think I played a few more, but maybe let's say it was clear who was going to win in the same number of rounds.
Yeah, I think less said the better about that.
Yeah.
But I noticed this week that the Games Workshop they put out like another segment on the Night Lords, and I was like, okay, well we've just covered this in the podcast, so let's just complete it and do the last bit. I hope maybe they're going to release more about the Night Lords, but I was kind of expecting them to actually release like different. It's called Black Book, so I just thought they would release like different factions.
Yeah, I wonder if these are kind of from some other, like are they already released in some printed media? I would assume so.
Exactly, that's what it said, that they've been like released like a long time ago, and then they're sort of just re-releasing it.
Yeah, exactly. So probably they're just gonna drip feed it out a little bit, right?
Yeah, I guess so. But it seemed relevant that I haven't finished doing the editing yet of the podcast, so let's just put this one together as well at the same time, and we're going to chop it up and make it a big episode. Basically, that's the plan.
Yeah, seems good.
Yeah. So yesterday, last weekend. This week's gone quickly already. I'm on leave, so every day is basically like a weekend.
It's just running past.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, well, last time we talked about the Night Lords and basically like where they come from, like what the history is about, like what kind of character they are to some extent. We talked about like Conrad Kurz and his boys, and this is sort of an extension of that. I mean, you said that you read through the material, right?
Yeah. So this part is something that's actually covered by the audiobook that I remember listening to a long time ago, and I think it was I think the title of the audiobook is like in here somewhere. I remember reading it and I was like, oh, that's what it's called. But it's like when Cruz is fighting against Rogel Dorn, and also when he's eventually assassinated, and
Yeah,
this is
because we
kind of
we did touch
covering
on
which
that
is
as
very
well.
similar. Yeah, I don't think this just goes into a bit more detail about exactly that.
Yeah, it doesn't really. I mean, maybe you need the audiobook about the actual like narrative to get like the punch by punch like fist fight that they had, but
Yeah, for sure.
this it doesn't go into that much detail, which is sad. I would have liked a bit more like how did he do it and what did he stab him and how
Yeah,
brutal was it?
you definitely get some of that in the audiobook. It's one of these like audio dramas rather than books, right? Where they're way more expensive from Black Library because there's like lots of sound effects and all these different voice actors or whatever doing it. But it's like it's like 2 or 3 hours rather than like 20-hour audiobook.
Yeah, okay, cool. Nice. So let's just jump in. I've made notes, so I guess I can take the lead, and
Yeah,
you can
go
just
for it.
like go in as we go through. So the first part of it is talking about this campaign called Thramas, which it doesn't really go into that much detail about it in this like say like Black Book, but where it alludes to this sort of campaign towards the end, um,
Yeah.
and it straight away jumps back into like why is this legion so doomed and why is this legion so cursed,
Yeah,
and
why they're so fucked up.
basically blames it on the Night Haunter himself.
Yeah,
Um,
which is a bit different from in the first document. It seemed a bit, they were like, oh, there's lots of different reasons why they're fucked up, but it's probably because there's something wrong with their genetics, and here it's like, no, it's all about this one guy. He's
yeah,
the problem.
so they sort of blame it on him. That it's because of his visions, and that's that's sort of why it falls apart. And to an extent, I see that. Obviously, like if your leader is like stark raving loony, then it's
Yeah.
difficult to have some sort of coherency.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when he's like the, let's say, the autocratic leader of the Legion or whatever you would call it. Like, this
Yeah,
it's not like they're having some kind of vote about what to do, right? Like this guy's deciding, and everybody's like, okay, cool, I guess.
yeah. But, I mean, to me, that as you mentioned, like the problems with the gene seed and like their sort of natural affinity to chaos based on their history and purpose, like the reason for them actually being Night Lords seems to be me a bit more of an obvious reason why the Legion would sort of fall
Yeah.
and doom itself. But obviously, Conrad's curse is
He's-
another just adds fuel to the fire.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
if they were led by like a let's say like a normal Primarch as opposed to one that wasn't like bonkers, then maybe they would have stuck it out. And I guess it sort of shows you that how important like the leader of these organizations are.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, also it's interesting. I thought like learning about the different Primarchs, right? That this is the only one that has some kind of prophetic knowledge. Like you would assume that would be Magnus or something that has
Yeah.
this like problem or gift or whatever. Whereas it seems like the other ones, perhaps they can use their psychic powers in useful ways. Whereas Curse has only has the negative downsides of like just getting fucked by visions he doesn't want
Yeah,
to see.
this is exactly actually what I wrote in my notes. I sort of thought, why are these visions such like an unhinging factor for Conrad? Like, can't he just be like, ah, okay, like I can see the future, but why is it that the visions affect him so negatively?
Yeah, but maybe it's because they are so negative, right? Like it's not that he's just seeing the future, right? It's like I guess it's a little bit like when the hobbits look in the mirror in Lothlorien, and then
Yeah,
they see like the Shire burning. It's like that every day, all the time, no matter what you do.
he just like closes his eyes or blinks for a second, and he sees like chaos or something.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
pure
Just like an
spawn.
eternity of problems. So you're like, fuck.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, and the source here it says that he kind of becomes like nihilistic to his future eventually, just apathetic. Like I don't care anymore. Like there's no point in doing this, and that's also like a factor that leads to the Legion's downfall.
Yeah, for sure. So isn't it like this campaign is in the sector of where their homeworld Nostromo used to be, and then when they start, he's like has some kind of like, oh, we're gonna go back and set everything right, boys, and then eventually just gives up on that idea.
I think we mentioned towards the end of the last segment that Nostromo, it sort of reverts back to its criminal gangs.
Yeah.
Once Conrad leaves for to go on crusade with the Emperor, and then when Horus sort of turns him back, he sort of like slinks off into the shadows a bit and goes and does his own thing because now he has, say, like the political freedom to do what he wants.
Yeah.
Because Horus is a bit more of an anarchist, let's say.
Yeah,
so
and it serves Horus's purpose as well, right? For him than to just fuck shit up.
Yeah, because they're so sort of like brutal in how they wage war. Obviously, we talked about how they sort of sow fear and terror and unrest in populaces. He sort of sends him off to go and do this segment over there because you guys are fucking everything up over here, and we want to do things a bit more like slowly and by the book. So they sort of Horus sort of sends him off. Okay, go and do Nostromo because they're in rebellion to us. So go and like set it straight, and that whole segment is like where they end up.
Yeah, exactly. But it also says right that Horus is like he needs somebody to go to these worlds that are like not quite loyal, but also not quite like on board with the rebellion and make sure they like deliver goods and taxes or whatever. And he's like, oh, I know the best people for doing this. What about the murder hobos? And then they go murdering, and he's like, why are they not delivering fucking food on time? What the hell?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as you mentioned, that obviously Horus needs like the logistics in place to feed the armies and to sort of run his campaign.
Yeah.
And he needs like an internal police force to sort of police and ensure compliance for production.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
We mentioned before about Nostromo and the logistics of Nostromo being probably pretty important if it's like a mining world. And even though the gangs are in place and sort of controlling the political situation in Nostromo, then the logistics have to keep going seamlessly. Otherwise, as soon as you get problems, then there's going to be issues with the imperial ties, or they need to be able to trade their resources to actually survive, because otherwise there's no food on the planet. So this is an exact parody of what's happening everywhere else in the galaxy under the heresy. That suddenly, like the worlds that Horus could rely on, it's not clear if they're going to follow the Emperor or if they're going to follow Horus. So he needs to send in a few terror squads to ensure that they're keeping up with their quotas.
But it kind of backfires, right? Because it even says in this text that maybe if it was like a normal traitor legion and they went in and they saw these like, let's say, criminal gangs that have started up again after Curse left the system, then they would co-opt them into their structure and go like, okay, you guys just deliver the stuff we need and everything's good. But instead he's like, no, but I'm Batman. And Batman does not fucking tolerate crime, boys.
Yeah, exactly.
So he just goes in and kills everybody, and then the deliveries. Now they're definitely not on time anymore.
Yeah, I just wrote that he kind of took it too far, and just like he was too cruel, too unfair. He destroyed too much and killed too many people.
Yeah, exactly.
But
yeah,
I mean,
it's all about the principles, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, you're corrupt. You're taking like 0.01% of the resources just to feed your starving child. You're not allowed to take from the Emperor. You must die.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's morally wrong to steal. Die.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, he's like autistic to a point on this, as we've mentioned.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, autistic emo person. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a new character unlocked. Jesus.
It sounds like some people in the Warhammer scene.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, this was really what struck me when reading this one, even more than the last one. It's like how teenager coded everything is, where like all of the Night Lords are already like really has this, for me at least, this feeling of that they're teenagers because it's so much like, oh, they're so brooding and they're so cruel and it's like black and white or whatever. But this one was even more in this direction. Like, Conrad is really like just a forever 14 when he's like, I know how to solve this problem. Everybody who's bad needs to die. You're like, oof.
Well, I think we were going to touch on this in a second, but it's really clear that whoever's doing like the recruitment video for the Night Lords is probably pretty fucked in the head. But
Yeah.
we'll get there. So basically, what happens is, as we mentioned the last cast, that he goes and autistically decides that Nostromo needs to be destroyed, destroys it, and then has a problem because that was their main recruiting world, and
Yeah, exactly.
now it seems that they have to take recruits from the other worlds in the segment or the sector. And this document says that it says specifically that the recruits lack the discipline and commitment to the cause compared to those from Nostromo. And to me, this doesn't really make sense because isn't the whole idea that you're like brainwashed as a space marine, and
Yeah.
they sit you in front of like a recruitment video and they like sellotape your eyelids open and you have to digest
Yeah,
this
exactly.
thing.
Like a Clockwork Orange kind of thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah, I
so
also
whoever's
thought
doing
about
this
that.
training is just really not training them very well and not brainwashing them that well.
Yeah, I also thought about that kind of being interesting because they talk a lot about like, oh, they're like the filth of dregs of society and the worst of the worst who then become space marines. So you're like, yeah, but exactly, isn't the whole point that you just make them a blank slate when you, because you like clear out whatever the fuck's in the people's heads and then just make them at space marines, right?
Yeah. I mean, even if I mean Nostromo, which was their say like main recruiting world, it was sort of the dregs of the dregs, and then they said they also combined with the people from the prisons of terror. So it's not like they were getting like fresh nobility from like
Exactly.
fresh out the finishing school or off the polo field. It's more like it's it's
Oh, that's like the old marines,
yeah. Well, that's the Emperor's Children, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Like they can all like ride and swing a club at the same time. Like inherently, they're like, when did I learn this?
Somewhere in the back of the gene seed.
Yeah.
Just the word gene seed. It's just it just lends to just images of like impregnating oneself with some sort of seed.
Yeah.
It's like
Definitely.
implanting the gene seed. Like like these guys are like prison guys. There's a certain way of implanting the gene seed that just doesn't quite work that well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the
Sleeps the worst
prison
of them.
style. They just end up like PTSD'd and fucked up and start skinning the rats in the cells.
Exactly. They have a horrible memory of some shower and shit. That's I just don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, well, so the resulting of this poor HR recruitment video training is that these new recruits are more thug-like and don't really follow the old honor code, albeit like a chaos-inspired honor code, let's say.
Yeah, I find that also interesting that they spent the whole other document talking about how the honor code is fucked up and bad, and now they're like the old honor code. It was pretty good, guys. Like,
Yeah,
it was way better than
compared to
this.
these guys. Yeah, so it says that instead of having this sort of like I mean code of honor, let's say honor amongst thieves kind of mentality where these old codes of Nostramo gang warfare was taking precedence over the culture of the Legion.
Yeah,
Instead, it's more about the strong overpowering the weak and sort of yeah, like the wild wild west where the one with the biggest gun and the fastest draw is the winner, and whoever is the strongest will survive, and the weak will sort of get trampled underfoot, and
yeah,
that
exactly.
becomes the culture of this so like new faction that's arising within the Legion, which is these new recruits.
Yeah. Yeah, and one could definitely see how this is maybe not the best for military structure, let's say.
Especially when your commander in chief is fucking a lunatic.
Yes.
And the general doctrine of your legion is enjoy flaying the people that you don't like and wearing their heads and their skulls as trophies.
Yeah, exactly. That's all good, though. That's all good.
Not only is that accepted, it's encouraged.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in fact, if you don't, that's not going to look good on your recommendation
it's a
letter.
sign of weakness, and you're going to be next.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, this bit with the lack of leadership from Conrad, and this new, let's say, prevailing culture within the recruiting ranks of the Legion, the license to do what they wanted is basically just given out for free.
Yeah.
So it ends up being like small gangs of reavers, scattered war bands, um, just sort of making like becoming mini warlords in their own right,
Yeah.
rather than following this like strict traditional military chain of command.
Yeah, exactly. And then also what the problem, right, is that those people form a powerful faction, and then they can kind of influence Conrad to
Yeah.
support this kind of behavior. And it seemed to me that how they influence Conrad is more like, okay, we've played like fucking way more than these other guys who believe in normal command structure, and therefore we're the best. And at some point in the story, it seems a bit like that Conrad is just like, yeah, that makes sense. Like whoever flays the most is the best. That's what we should.
Yeah, because they clearly enact the most justice.
Yeah, exactly. We measure justice in number of flayed skins that we can deliver. It's a bit like the whole Congo thing with like, oh, you have to. What was it like? Left hands or right hands for every bullet you shoot. It's a bit like that, right? Where they're like, oh, he came back with like 10 skins. He's a really good boy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so and basically ends up that the new guys kind of gain power because they're ambitious and they basically they get more plunder, as Casimir said. They get more powerful because they just go off and take stuff from people. Whereas the old guard sort of fall by the wayside a bit because they're trying to follow the structure of which there is none because Conrad can't do anything. Like he's just incoherently rambling and frothing at the mouth.
Yeah, it seems like this new faction. They're like, okay, so we have this fucking idiot as our Primarch, and the plan is we're just gonna like let him sit in a room, and there he can,
he can just rock and scream at the wall.
Yeah, and he can look at his stupid cards, and he can fucking be worried about the future. And the rest of us, we can be living our lives and having fun, flaying as many people as we want.
Yeah, exactly. And the text mentions a few name characters, but I don't think we need to talk about them. To me, these sound sort of like generic names. Which
yeah, that was also something I thought about. Is the names in this one is way like shitter than the names in the other document. They were all like Skin Flayer, the Batman, and then now they're just like Nakrid Toll, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that doesn't tell me that's not fun. That's just a weird name.
Yeah, it was just a bit random, so I didn't.
Yeah, but I want to talk about two things because there's one of these pages which has like a spread of a single Space Marine man with his armor and stuff. And first thing is they talk about like, oh, the new guys, they have this like skull and crossbones symbol on their gauntlets. And the old guard have like these bloodied gauntlets or something.
Yeah.
And first of all, that's kind of funny that he paints a little pirate flag on his. So you can paint like pirate flags on your minis, so you're like, these are the cool Reaver guys.
If you want to be technical, I think it's like 3 bones crossed in like a.
Yeah, that's true.
Star shape, but yeah.
But that's true. But the description in the text just sounds like it's like a pirate flag,
Yeah, it sounds like a pirate flag. I mean, the symbol is already like a skull, so a skull and a few crossbones underneath it is basically a pirate flag.
Yeah, perfect. And then the second one is like, so this Space Marine they have as an example, he has this shoulder pad with these big studs on it, right?
Yeah.
And that's like one of those very classic old Space Marine sculpts that are out there. And I think in Horus Heresy you could probably buy new plastic of it. But then I never really put any thought into what are the studs. Like I was like, this is a sculptor back in the 80s who had too much green stuff or milliput, and he just like made little balls on a shoulder pad. And then it says here, okay, molecular bonding studs were a common armoring technique used to strengthen Space Marine battle plate in face of ever more deadly battlefields, which were endured by the warriors of Legion Astartes. And I'm like, what the fuck is a molecular bonding stud? And why is it like as big as a normal human's head? And how is it then molecular?
Like 6 footballs on his shoulder pad.
Yes.
I don't understand why this would be useful in any way.
Exactly. And how is it molecular? Like, you're like, okay, well, I put this like steel ball the size of a human's head on my shoulder pad, but actually, bro, it has something to do with the molecules and stuff.
Maybe it's like a special molecule that the molecule is so big, and that's just one of them.
Yeah, true. It's like I mean, when you not to get too like nerdy, back in the university, I made plastic, and like how you make plastic, you make a like really long chain of like coal basically, and the longer it is the like different properties of plastic or whatever. And imagine that, but it's like wrapped a million billion tons times until it's the size of a big ball.
yeah, exactly. And maybe it has like some empty like bonds that if you shoot it with a bullet, it just gets absorbed like. Bloop,
oh yeah.
And it gets bigger and bigger. And eventually you have like a huge ball on your shoulder and you're dragging it around.
This is what happens. It's like actually these are all bullets that hit you on the shoulder will just become these weird balls. Okay.
Now we solved the whole age-old problem of why Space Marines have extra bollocks on their shoulders.
Exactly. Maybe if they have no balls in between their legs, they're like,
that's where they keep them.
Balls somewhere. Put them on the shoulder. It's like when you learn about the anatomy of Space Marine, they're like, bro, they have like 14 hearts, and like one is in the nostril or something. You're like, okay. But they keep their balls on their shoulder pads.
8 balls on the shoulders. It's like little testicles hanging out, like baubles from a Christmas tree.
Exactly. Somebody touched his shoulder, he's like, oh, fucking, that's sensitive, okay?
Okay, so back to the text.
Yeah, I thought this was very important.
It's a good what do you call it? A good tangent.
Yeah, exactly. Diversion.
Yeah. So we were talking about that there was 2 factions between the Space Marine within this Legion. Like one is like the Old Guard, and one is the New Guard. And there's actually a bit of a civil war between the 2 factions while they're on campaign in this Thrama system. And I don't know if it actually says anything about what the Thrama system is or why it's important. But
so my understanding is that it's the system that's like around where Nostromo used to be. So it's like the Thrama system.
So that's actually the whole system.
Yeah, exactly. So Thramas is like all the worlds connected to that, or in the same area.
Okay, great. So so that's where they are, as we said, and then they sort of start fighting in between each other just to sort of gain the attention or affection or interest or political power from Conrad. And because the new recruit faction is basically just larger than the old guard, purely by virtue of them being more recently recruited, so there's a large number of them, they actually win out in the end.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also interesting because we mentioned that the new recruits, they kind of want to sidelight Conrad and just do their own thing.
Yeah.
And it talks about them like breaking free from the bonds of the lunatic Primarch and so on. And to me, it just seems like the new guys, even though they're portrayed as being thugs or whatever, are like way smarter than the old guard, because they're just like, they know this guy is a fucking idiot. So they're like, how about we don't listen to him and we just like do our own thing? And then the old guard are like, no, we need to take orders from the mentally disabled guy. Like, okay, sure.
They like open the door to Conrad's cell, and they're like, Conrad, what should we do? And he's just like drooling on the floor. Like, it's like, okay, let's do that. Or the old guard are like, he didn't say anything. Let's just continue as we were told from the last time. They're also like highly autistic, clearly, as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And Conrad basically just doesn't give a shit, and
it seems like he
just
has no influence. Like,
yeah, exactly. He just kind of lets this happen and decides to like go emo into a fortress, and that's it.
yeah,
And the place that he goes to is called Sagulasa, and
yeah.
it seems that
Okay.
he fights the Dark Angels and the Lion himself
Yeah,
at
this
at
is
this
like a
place.
little bit unclear, but it seems like
Yeah,
that the Dark Angels kind of intercept them in this system. That's my understanding. That's like the main opponent, I guess, of the Legion. And
yeah,
then Conrad is like, oh, single combat, but apparently, I don't know very much about the Lion, but apparently he's supposed to be one of the best in hand-to-hand combat guys. Like, okay,
that's my understanding as well. So it as you said, it sort of brushes over the ins and outs of the story, but it seems that the Dark Angels sort of arrive and um yeah, they sort of I guess they attack Conrad at his fortress,
yeah,
and Conrad being like probably like the shittiest fighter of all the Primarchs decides, yeah, I can take on the best fighter of all the Primarchs, no problem. And then he just gets his ass handed to him, and I don't know if he dies. It doesn't really say what happens to him, to be honest. It
just
says
gets
he's
super
captured.
injured or something. Like
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, so I think
yeah,
first he fights him once, right, and then he gets super injured, and then his like loyalists have to like sacrifice themselves to retrieve his body, and then it seems like he's just kind of convalescing until the very end of the story here.
yeah, exactly. And at this point, because the new faction have got sort of too much freedom, they overextend themselves, and now because they're fighting against like a more organized enemy, they're actually overwhelmed completely and largely destroyed. So
Yeah,
now,
like victims of their own success for sure.
yeah, exactly. So because they aren't following like the structures of military command, they don't have like a overarching sense of strategy when they come against like a proper foe in Dark Angels, and yeah, they get killed. And then the old guard sort of come back into power, as it were, and create this new like ruling council for the Night Lords called
Yeah.
Chiroptera.
It's also like just really, it sounds like a knife edge name, like just a kind of
Yeah,
shit name. Like, okay,
yeah. And
I
I did look it up, and I couldn't find any. I think it's purely like a invented word.
yeah, exactly. I think the one thing is that the main guy of the loyalists, Savitar, or his name is, he actually has a miniature
Okay,
because he's the
that's cool.
first captain of the Night Lords. So, and this miniature is actually pretty decent.
I might have
So
to have a look while we're talking. Yeah. So, and I think at this point they sort of realize that Conrad is just a fucking idiot, and they actually have to make this council because otherwise it's just not going to work.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so they sort of bypass him by using this council um, to sort of circumvent uh, Conrad's leadership. Otherwise, it just wouldn't work.
Yeah, and I guess they decide that this whole idea was not great, so maybe let's just rejoin the main fleet of Horus and
Yeah,
be part of the assault on Terra. So they gather all the ships and they're like, okay, guys, you go through the warp first, and then we'll come second, and whatever. And then,
yeah. Then the Dark Angels get there first, and they basically just destroy the ships as they come out of warp and scatter the whole Legion into the galaxy.
yeah, but
And
also,
Conrad is captured.
yeah, but also even worse is like when they're lining up to leave, then Conrad like wakes up from his like convalescence and goes like, we have to attack the Dark Angels one more time, and they're like, "Fuck, okay, I guess."
Okay,
And
yeah.
then he just like leads the best of the Legion in this like super suicide attack, which they're completely outnumbered and outclassed, and they just die. And Conrad is captured. And you're like, great, great times, guys. Good job.
Yeah, good job, bro. I thought we agreed here that we weren't going to follow him. We made a whole council to avoid this, and then he comes back for like two moments of
Like
clarity.
lucidity, yeah.
Yeah, and then goes. He gets captured and goes back to his like drooling self in the prison.
Yeah, this is this part I actually didn't know because I mean it talks about it in the other document that I know from the audiobook as well that he gets like eventually got by some like assassin like in one of the, I don't know if it's like an Eversor or what type of assassin, but it's like not a Primarch or whatever who kills him. Like I guess he escapes from the Dark Ages at some point because eventually he's like somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and then there's just like an Imperial assassin that goes and kills him. But I guess he's like on their ship. Maybe he's like, I don't know if he's like captured on the ship or if he's stranded on the ship. It doesn't really quite make it clear, right?
Yeah, it doesn't really tell the full story, but it I guess that's maybe it's intentional, maybe it's sort of maybe there's going to be another document out next week that gives us the rest of the story.
Yeah.
But is Conrad dead now, or
Yeah, he's one of the Primarchs that's like dead. He's for sure not going to come back, from my understanding of the story. But I guess
maybe
you
he
could always
comes
just
back as
go.
a vampire?
Yeah, like I mean, to be honest, that'd be pretty cool, like Demon Primarch, I would say. But I think he's supposed, like canonically, he's because you wouldn't expect that like a little human assassin should be able to kill a Primarch. But from my memory of the audiobook, it's like he sees that the assassins should come to kill him, and then he like essentially just does nothing while he gets killed, essentially.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that's basically the end of the text, but I have a few like small topics that I want to mention, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one is sort of I sort of said just now, like where does this whole like vampire theme come from? Obviously we have the very clear like fantasy vampire motif, and even on some of these new like raptor models, they basically look like flying vampires. Like,
Yeah.
aside from the fear and terror trope, like where does this like vampire thing come in? Because to me, as someone who's quite new to 40k, I don't really see the connection.
Yeah, I also don't really, because they made the Blood Angels into like actual vampires. They like literally drink blood and all this kind of stuff. But they're like the sexy vampires. They're like the Twilight vampires, you know?
Twilight vampires, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Whereas
the Night
these, I
Lords are more like
guess.
the Nosferatu vampires.
Yeah, exactly. So I do I do think that this is like a historical thing from when they were starting 40k, and they were like, okay, we need like a Spartan legion, we need like a Knights legion, like with medieval knights, and then okay, we're gonna have like a vampires legion or whatever, right? So they like kind
Yeah.
of just made them themed in different ways, I would assume.
Yeah, like the flayed skin, the trophies, and the heads, and like I'm just looking at this picture of Space Marine. The hands as a pendant around the neck.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense in the context of that. Okay, they're gangs, and these are the trophies, and they're trying to sow fear and terror. But I don't really get the vampire connection, despite also some of the language being sort of alluding to this connection in some way.
Yeah. No, I also don't really think it makes a lot of sense, to be honest.
It doesn't have to, but it's
Yeah.
more like just a question. So yeah, another thing that I wanted to mention is to really try and paint this picture of. I mean, we maybe have to use our imagination a little bit based on this text at least, but maybe if you have some interesting points from the audiobook that you listen to, like where does this, or what makes them so fear-inducing? Like, what do they do that makes their enemies, or obviously enemies, like the populaces of this world that they're going to try and subdue? Like, why do they cause so much fear and terror in the population?
Yeah, so they actually like talk a bit about not just in this book, but there's like another Night Lords, let's say, series that's set in the 41st millennium called Soul Hunter and so on, where they talk about like a modern Night Lords band and also the Chaos Codex. That it's like they do things like they like come in like in lightning rage maybe, and then instead of just like going in and killing everybody, they kind of make it almost like a scary movie, where like you capture somebody, and then instead of like just going and killing everybody, they go like and flame somewhere, and then broadcast the screams on like the audio broadcast in the fortress or something like this. or they might do like a classic, like raining the body parts of different parts of whoever they've already killed all over civilian populations and stuff like that. And I think also in the old, like really old Chaos book, there was like an option that you could buy for your vehicles, which was like where you would have like sound systems, like on, for example, you could put it on a Rhino, which affected like the leadership value of units around it. And this would also be kind of Night Lords coded, that they would like kind of blast these like horrifying, let's say, tracks of screams or whatever from their vehicles or from their suits, and so on. So it's like this kind of tactics where they don't just go in and kill like everybody. They like kill people in like some kind of way to sow the most amount of terror.
Yeah. Okay. So they're really going deep into this like the individual sort of terror tactics.
Yes, exactly. That to me seems like maybe different from, because obviously any Space Marine Legion is probably pretty horrifying to face in battle, let's say, but they'd like kind of take that little extra time to reduce the morale of whoever they're fighting. And then maybe because they're also like kind of striking for the shadows and really quickly, it's worse because you don't exactly know where they are or who they are, while this is happening, so to say.
Yeah, and I mean they're also doing sort of different tactics. Like the Raptors specifically, they said, oh, they're like dripping bloody entrails over their foes as they're fighting, and these kind of things.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the last thing I wanted to mention is a bit more of like Conrad himself and his character. We did touch on it quite a bit as we went through the last segment, but it's more like how unhinged do you have to be to fuck this up so badly? And just to really like dig into it, actually, okay, how bad is Conrad? And
yeah, he seems like he's just extremely incompetent,
Yeah.
Like
he's
all the
like
other
a small child.
Yeah, like all the other Primarchs have like their pros and cons, so to say, but he just seems like he just doesn't have any positive characteristics. It's also implied in the last time that he kind of tricks the Emperor by, when he arrives to collect him at Nostrama, he's like, oh, I've seen this before, and he like plays the role perfectly while he's still being completely fucking an idiot on the inside, but he just has a script already, so then he's like, oh, I can be the perfect son,
Yeah, and he's trying to avoid this fate, but in trying to avoid the fate, he ends up doing exactly what he sees. But to me, it's how if you can see this is going to happen, why do you let it happen? Like how what are you that crazy or that mental that you do the exact thing that you have to do to if you have these
exactly.
premonitions of the future.
Yeah, it does seem a little bit like he only knows one way to try to solve anything, and that's like, oh, let me just try killing everybody. And you're like, well, if you see a future where everybody's going to be killed all the time, maybe that's not like what you want to do right now, if that's what you worry about in the future.
Yeah. So to me, it doesn't make so much sense, but
yeah, this is. I think the Night Lords are definitely like a bit of a weakness in storytelling when it comes to this universe, where they're like conceptually kind of cool. Like you look at the miniatures and they have like flayed skin or whatever, and you're like, oh, this is kind of awesome. But then you try to write the story to make that make sense, and then you realize, okay, actually, it doesn't make any sense,
Yeah.
But then this was also a problem in Warhammer Fantasy. Like I think we talked about the Dark Elves already. They're also like a typical, like they look cool, and then when they try to describe their society that's based 90% on murder, you're like, well, a society based 90% on murder doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly. I've actually just been flicking through on Games Workshop website, and I found another PDF, which is the Thramas Crusade PDF, which is a 56-page document which details the entire Thramas Crusade.
56 pages. Whew.
Yeah, I just found it, but this was from like in between when we recorded and now. So I guess we missed a document, but it's a really long one. So I think what we should, just to end this show and segment, we can say, well, if you're really interested in going into the Night Lords deep, deep dive, you can go and read that document, because as much as I would like to make notes on 56 pages of Warhammer stuff, I don't really have the time right now.
Exactly. As much as I would like to, I also don't really want to.
Yeah, these other two were quite easy because they're only a few pages long.
Yeah.
But I think maybe that's a podcast for another day.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think with that, we will leave it there. As we said at the end of the last segment, if you want to get in touch with us, join us on Discord. That's the place to go. We have lots of stuff going on there. You can see what we're working on in the hobby. You can write to us. You can chat with us there. You can send us questions. We don't actually have one question, so maybe we can answer that quickly now, just to finish off. Let me just find it. It was from Fraz, of course. The question is, why does Henry buy expensive kits to destroy them and rebuild them?
Which I think is actually kind of a like, it's not actually a bad question, because I think it has a good answer.
Yeah, it's not a bad question. I think it's yeah. Maybe I'll take the angle on this, is that I enjoy converting things, and when we played the Ninth Age, with it being like model agnostic, it's quite difficult for people to appreciate your conversions, because it's like, oh, this is a cool model and you've painted it nicely. It could be from any fucking where, but
Yeah.
actually it's like a scratch built Varkalak that I've made with wire and milliput, and it's taken me 50 hours and
Yeah, exactly.
a number of weeks. And someone's like, oh yeah, it's probably just like a 3D printed model, like it's pretty good when you've painted it nicely. But actually I've done like a really big job on it.
Yeah. I think specifically when you're basing your conversions or scratch builds off of models that people don't know, then nowadays they just assume that it's a 3D print. And I even had this already in 40k with my Beast of Nurgle, right? Where
Yeah.
some guy at the tournament we went to in Ireland, he was just like, "Oh, that's a cool 3D print." I'm like, "Well, it's not a 3D print. It's not that I put in like amazing amount of efforts, but it's still like a way more effort to like take a kit and like cut away a bunch of shit and resculpt it than it is to just like get a 3D print off the internet, right?"
Yeah, exactly. And so why? So the question is like, why do I take expensive kits and completely rewrite them? Um, I think Fraz is alluding to both my dragon that I've built for Wood Elves, and the most recent Magnus the Red model that I've converted to an Avatar of Cain, or I'm in the
In the
process
process.
of converting it to an Avatar of Cain. Like, why am
Yeah.
I doing this? And it's not because I want recognition, but it's more because I think it would be a cool model. This Avatar of Cain conversion specifically is because I wanted like a little bit more, like a bigger centerpiece than the Avatar
Yeah.
of Cain itself. The Avatar of Cain is a nice model, but I just had this inspiration that I wanted to do this conversion. And by using a model that, say, like people recognize, can say, that's an Avatar of Cain that's built from Magnus. It's like they can see like how much effort I've put into it, and that's sort of the second edge of the sword, where it's nice to kind of show what can be done when it's a model. So it's more of like a transient art form in some way, which is me being way more woo-woo than I ever thought it would be on air. But yeah, basically,
Yeah,
one,
but
because
that's
it's fun, and
yeah.
two, because it looks cool, and three, because why not?
Yeah, exactly. No, but I think it also like, because I've started converting way more now than I've done in iFitch in the past, and there's just like a pleasure to having created something that in some sense is completely your own,
Yeah.
because I had this. I talked to Patrick over the weekend as well, and I was telling him my woes about like the Great Unclean one I'm trying to build off of this like kit that's like a secondhand kit that I'm also going to convert or whatever. And it obviously is way more painful than just buying a new Great Unclean one and gluing it together like high quality Games Workshop plastic. But like in the end, he's like, yeah, but you could also just like work those hours and use them to just buy new kits. Like you have the money, right? And he's right,
Yeah,
but
but it's
but
not the
it's going to be
point.
like way less pleasurable as like like the end product is it's going to be fine for gaming, but if I build my own and I convert it, I have something that I feel like really proud of in a different way, and like you feel like you've created something.
You're more
and that
attached
has
to
like
it, and when they die, you get more annoyed.
exactly. It has like way more value, and I think also we're reaching a point where we have so much fucking moles and so much shit around that like just buying another kit and just quickly doing it together, spraying it and fucking contrast painting it, that like has less value, at least to me now, because I already have so much stuff for all these other games as well that I would like to create something that I'm like really proud of in the models I make,
Yeah, exactly, and it's also I get more pleasure out of playing with my models when I've put some effort into building them, painting them, converting them.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I think I actually get more out of the game when I'm playing with a model that I like and I put time into.
Yeah, for sure. And it's also that just the extreme difference, right? Is when you borrow an army or play with unpainted models or something compared to when you play with something that's finished or you made yourself.
Yeah,
It's like the experience is completely different,
yeah. Even though I'm not winning any games and my models are just getting taken off, it's still more fun than if I was just borrowing like an army from someone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I think that's it. I actually have a tournament I'm going to tomorrow, my first 40k tournament, or say
Nice.
it's like proper 40k tournament. So probably just going to go get some sleep after drinking a few beers, and yeah, I think next episode is probably we can talk about that and
Good
whatever
luck.
else happened in between.
Hopefully you get to win a game or something.
Yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice to win a game of 2,000 points because that hasn't happened yet. But it will happen one day. If you throw enough shit on the wall, sometimes some of it sticks.